I guess it's the cold open.
Yep.
Sure, it's not the hot open.
Welcome to the Staying on Topic podcast. Welcome back to the Staying on Topic podcast. My name is Ruben.
I'm Vic.
And my name is John. And this week we got some movie adaptations, discussions. Going to be looking into our favorite video games that were adapted into movies. I know that's a big love-hate relationship, you know, with a lot of fans out there. But I got some I really, really enjoy, and I got some I really do not enjoy. So looking forward to see what these guys think as well. And that's pretty much where we're gonna be heading and what direction we're going today.
Yep.
Cool.
All right, but first little bit of stuff. We're just gonna, like we've normally been doing, we're gonna bring in a little bit of news or just things that we were generally excited for that happened this week
Or interested in.
You know. So I guess John will go first.
Yeah, I for the longest time I had not watched the What If series, right? Y'all been telling me, hey, watch What If series. So I saw that they're making season 3, right? So so I saw this week, Monday, Tuesday, whenever the trailer dropped for season 3, I went and watched it. It was pretty enjoyable. So I was like, you know what? I might as well go and watch it now. So I've been watching some episodes from season 1, season 2, and it's actually pretty good. I mean, I thought I was not going to like it at all because I don't like watching animated things that were already live action.
Cool.
It just doesn't interest me. But the stories were more than made up for my dislike of watching animated things from movies, so
Sure.
or from live action. And I'm excited for season 3 now. I mean, it was a quick trailer, but looks like it's going to be good. That's what I've been doing this past week. You know, checking some stuff out for that. And I do know that we'll touch on that later. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Marvel's really starting to do a lot of those like animated things.
Yeah,
because there was, you know, obviously they're doing season 3 of that. They're gonna be doing Marvel Zombies.
They are
X-Men 97.
That's right. Yeah.
Yes. The Eyes of, I think it's called Eyes of Wakanda.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's the thing that they're gonna come out with the Black Panther stuff. And I think they do that because it's probably just easier for them to. I'm not saying animation's easy, but I think it's just easier for them to like try to animate that stuff than to try to get the actors to like record it. Like,
yeah, because a lot of them are very well established, so it's probably just cheaper to.
What I really like that for this one, for What If at least, that they use the actual actors that were for the roles.
Acting.
Yeah, for the voice acting.
They don't use them all the time.
Well, I know,
just
but I
the
mean,
ones that
like
they
just
can
some of the ones that they could get. But I'm just saying, it just really like the familiar of it being familiar. Oh my goodness. Of using those actors, you know, just made it a little more watchable too.
Sure.
But yeah, that's pretty much. That's the only thing I've been doing this week. That's anything new that I've checked out. Yeah.
Cool.
Do you have like a specific episode that you liked?
Probably not really. Like I said, because I watched random episodes from season 1 and season 2, and now
just a smattering.
Yeah, just and so I'm gonna go back and just actually now finish it out.
Nice.
Yeah, because I think my favorite episode is in season 1. It's the Doctor Strange episode.
Oh,
that one was one of the ones that I watched. That one was pretty good.
Because that one was one of the very few ones in the first season where like it doesn't end on like a good thing.
No,
it ends horribly.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's nice to. I say that's nice.
It's nice.
Like it's nice to
different.
see. Yeah, it's nice to see something. It's different because like most of the time, you know, with the MCU,
they lived happily ever after.
Yeah. You basically get that. It's like a very like not cookie cutter, but you know, everything ends up fine.
Yeah,
with a frilly bow on top.
Yeah, so like the fact that it kind of ends horribly, and he understands that it's ending horribly.
Yeah,
and there's nothing that he can do about it. I just thought that was really cool, and I think that's another reason why I'm really excited for the Marvel Zombie show.
Yeah,
because I like the comic, I really do. I remember reading that. I think it was in like first grade.
It's brutal.
I probably shouldn't have been reading it in first grade.
No, not at all.
But I think one of my friends at the time he had like brought the comic. It was like the compilation of like all the volumes and stuff.
Oh.
And I was like, dude, this is actually kind of sick. Like, I liked the idea.
Yeah.
Like, of just like the
it's a cool concept.
Yeah. It kind of sucks, though. I think they only got like 4 episodes, or they're only getting 4 episodes. And I wish it would be longer. Because, like, I mean, I don't know how long the episodes are going to be.
Yeah. I always love that concept of zombies that keep their superpowers after they die. That sounds
that's
horrifying.
That's another thing that they kind of touched on in What If there is a zombie episode.
Yeah.
And people were like, oh, like I think that was one of their better episodes, and people were like, oh man, why can't we get like a Marvel Zombies show? And then they finally like announced like, hey, we're doing it.
It's like, hey, you asked for it.
Yeah, because it's a cool story.
It's a cool story.
Yeah,
it's probably one of my favorite stories in like the entirety.
I forget how it starts. Like how it like in the comics. I forget how it starts.
Ooh, I don't remember. It's been so long since I've read it.
Doesn't it come from like a different dimension? I think
it does. Like it's like an interdimensional thing.
Yeah.
Don't quote me.
You're talking about Marvel Zombies?
Yeah,
Zombie, like the comics. I forget how it starts, but it's brutal. It's brutal.
The one like part of the comic that I always remember, it's like Peter, and then there's like MJ, and then I think like Peter's infected, but like MJ like doesn't know.
Yeah.
So he like she's like there, and then he like turns around, and he's like all zombified.
Yeah.
It's pretty hardcore.
It's well.
Yeah, it's a good little series. Like I said, I hope they do it justice. Like I said, it's only 4 episodes, so I don't know. But I think for the most part, their animated stuff has been pretty decent. Like everybody seemed to like X-Men '97. I haven't seen it because like I didn't really watch the original show. Like the original show was one of those shows that like if it was on like on Saturday mornings, I'd just watch it.
Yeah.
But like it wasn't something that I was like actively I've seen every single episode.
Fair enough.
But I think it's cool that it's like a continuation of the original show.
Yeah.
Now if they did it with Spider-Man, like the Spider-Man, because that's a thing that everybody wants, right? They want Spider-Man '98. And it's the old Spider-Man show. And I think if they did that, that'd be really cool. I'd watch it.
I'd probably watch that one too, because that would be. I didn't like. How can I say? I couldn't say that I didn't like, but I'm not a fan of the animation in What If. So I don't like the drawing and the art style.
But the story was. That's fun. Fair.
Yeah.
I can see why you wouldn't like it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of because it's not really drawn. Like well, it's drawn, but like it's not. It's kind of like it's like that weird like animation, but it's also like 3D.
Yeah, it's like a weird CGI.
Yeah,
and it's also kind of like it's kind of cell shady.
Well, it's almost like a mixture, like cell shady. Yeah, and I don't really like cell shady.
I don't
cell shady animation.
Yeah. But I'm really.
I think we've mentioned it before.
I'm not a big fan of cell shading. I think cell shading looks kind of like gross. Like it's just not a thing. Like I don't know. It just to me it's never looked good.
Yeah.
Like it always looks like too cartoony. And like I don't know. For me, it kind of like takes me out of it.
I love cartoony shit.
I like cartoony stuff.
I love cartoony stuff, yeah.
But I don't. I think when you as an artist and you're adding cell shading to something, it just seems like you're doing it just to do it. It
has to match the
feel of the show and the flow of the show, and you know what your art style.
It's a very specific thing, yeah.
And I specifically like I hate when like cell shading is like done like non-animation. Like I think going back to being like I think I talked about this. Now I remember I talked about that there was like a Pink Ranger like Power Rangers figure, and it was done in cell shading.
Oh yeah,
and I was like, this looks ugly. Like, who would want this?
I think you talked
back
about
when
that,
I was working at a game store, a local game store.
Yeah. Oh yeah,
and those things were on clearance all the time. We couldn't sell those, and I was like, I don't blame people for not wanting to buy this. This looks ugly.
Yeah.
Like it just doesn't. It looks like it looks like weird decals that they like.
They've just
they would have put on it.
Yeah.
But it's clearly like painted, and I'm just like, this looks gross. Like nobody, and that was the only one I think they ever did. And I was like,
yeah,
thank God.
Well, because it probably didn't
sell
well.
Right, yeah.
Well, here's the thing: it probably didn't sell well. One, because of how it looked, but like it's also like, and it's kind of a terrible fact, but most of the time the girls don't sell well, and they did it with the Pink Ranger, who's a female, and I'm not saying that that's like a bad thing or anything. It was just like, but it's one of those things. Statistically, Power Rangers is aimed more towards boys. Boys don't really want the girl
characters. Yeah.
Especially like young boys.
Yeah.
Granted, that line of figures is meant more for collectors, but even collectors, I would say, are pretty like. And again, I don't think people are going to pick it up because again, it's the only one they did. It's not like you can buy all 5 of the MMPR
Does that technically
toys.
mean it's more rare?
I mean, I don't know. They mass produced those. Like I said, we had a ton of them when I was working at that store.
Never mind.
Yeah. Anyway, I don't even know how we got to that.
You can call it rare. Other people call it lame.
I call it landfill.
There you go.
Anyway, I guess I'll go to my little tidbit of stuff that I thought was interesting.
Back on topic.
Back on topic. Well, I guess technically we're going off topic now because it's something that doesn't relate to
different topic.
Yeah, different topic, I guess. Overwatch 2 decided, hey, what if we just went back to Overwatch 1 for a little bit?
Yeah.
And that's what they did. So they brought Overwatch Classic.
This isn't just Overwatch 1. This is Overwatch 1.
Yeah, this is like OG
Overwatch 1. Overwatch 1.0.
And if there's one thing I have learned from playing Overwatch 1, because I here's the thing: when Overwatch came out, I didn't play it. I didn't start playing it until 2018 when I got my Xbox. So Overwatch had been out for maybe like a year and a half at that point. But there were things from that, from the original Overwatch that still carried over. Like Hanzo has the scatter arrows, and like I started playing, I think right before the scatter arrows got taken away. So I was like, oh man, dude, they got the scatter arrows back. Like, granted, the scatter arrows in the game were kind of toxic, right? It's like they weren't very fun to play against, but like,
I've been playing Classic too.
Yeah, it's fun. Like, here's the thing: I'm having a good time. Like, I'm actually doing better in Classic than I am in like the regular game. Like, whenever I'm doing like regular comp, I'm like, dude, I'm getting like, because I'm like on Classic, I'm like a kind of like a two-trick pony. I'm either playing Mercy, because I love doing the fuck. I almost did a curse word. I stopped myself.
I said one earlier. Sorry, audience.
Yeah, we will beep that out. But like, there's something kind of gratifying about doing a 5-man res with Mercy's ult back in the day. And then like, I'm also kind of like doing like a Tracer main, because I used to be Tracer on original Overwatch 1. That was like one of my characters that I used to play. It was Tracer. This guy must sound so cringe. I was Tracer, Roadhog, like Junkrat. I think that was and Moira. And I played pretty much the easy characters, but Tracer's kind of difficult. Like if you're not like super careful with her. Yeah. But I'm like playing Overwatch Classic right now. I'm like, man, dude, I'm getting so many kills as Tracer right now. I was like, I feel so like I feel so good.
Tracy Squirrel.
Yeah.
You squirreled.
Yeah, I last time I played, well, I've played Overwatch 2, but before I came back to Overwatch, the last time I had played was Classic, was before original Overwatch 1 or whatever. So when I came back and Chris, I was playing with Chris, and I was like, I got played on Mercy, and it was like, well, where's her res at? And he's like, no, they changed her, and I was like, oh, that's right, I didn't know.
Well, yeah, because her res used to be her ult.
Yeah.
And now it's just like a thing.
Yeah.
But you can only do one person at a time, and it takes like there's like a 20-something second cooldown for it. So it's not as fun.
Yeah. It was fun. It's. I've been thinking about jumping on for a little bit. Just
I don't know. If there's one thing I've learned about original Overwatch, like Overwatch like 1.0, it's not balanced very well.
No, it's not.
Like it's like you can tell which ones are the good characters, and which ones are the bad characters.
Oh yeah. Like, absolutely, you can.
Like I'm like I've been playing it for like pretty much since it came out, and I'm like, dude, Zarya seems kind of good. Like in Overwatch 2, Zarya's kind of Zarya feels bad, but like in Overwatch 1, I'm just like, dude, Zarya kind of like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Like, and then like I said, Mercy just reses everybody, and I was just like, dude, and it's so easy to get her ult too.
Yeah, you just press it.
Yeah, you basically just like heal people, and then you just get your ult like super quick. Like,
well, I remember it was like playing Junkrat, right? That's all I would always default to Junkrat, because it's just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit here and just lob bombs and get kills, and now it's not as easy. You got to be a little more aggressive and.
Well, yeah, I was just playing characters randomly, because again, like I never played Overwatch 1, like or that era of Overwatch.
That era,
1. So I went and I lobbed one of the mines that Junkrat uses to like explode, and I go and I do that, and there's like a cooldown. I was like, wait, where's my second one?
Oh yeah.
Like, oh yeah. I was like, oh, they only had one. At the time, and it's kind of fun to like go back and see how like much characters have changed.
You know what's hilarious? I had the exact same experience, but the other way around, because it's been so long since I played Overwatch, and then I start playing Overwatch 2, and I immediately go to Classic, right? And I'm like, whoa, this is just how it used to feel like. And then I start playing the regular Overwatch 2, and then I realize, wait, Reinhardt has 2 fireballs he can throw? When did that happen?
Yeah, that's another thing that was changed.
I was like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah,
I was so the exact same thing, but the other way around.
I think it's safe to say though that like there are some characters that from Overwatch 1 that are in Overwatch 2 now that have just drastically gotten better. Like I think D.Va in Overwatch 1 is just not playable.
Why? D.Va was wonderful in Overwatch 1.
No,
this is Overwatch 1.0. So
yeah,
this is when it first came out before they changed.
No, John, she's bad. Like she moves so slow when you're shooting her guns.
Yeah, I know.
It's terrible. Like as
you're used to. I'm saying you'd prefer the newer.
Her shooting and like having like a decent motion when she's going. But like whenever I'm playing against a D.Va, like I said, I'm normally Tracer, and they're just like, and I'm just like, okay, let me blink behind them, and what they're gonna do? Like,
now to be fair, that's most characters.
Yeah,
that's most. Tracer, like I said earlier, Tracer is very squirrely if you know how to play her.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I said, I was a Tracer man. Like I remember because at the time, me and my group of friends, like I don't know why, and like I don't think this was actually a thing, but it was just like a thing between us. It was like there was like a sign of like prestige to you as a player if you got like the cute spray for a certain character. And I was like, man, like at the time, like I said, I was like a tracer main. So I was like, man, I gotta get the tracer cute skin. And like the way to get it is you have to land like 3 pulse bombs in one game. And at the time I was like really bad, so I was like, oh man, I really gotta like get. And every time I'd get so close, the game would end, and I'd be like, oh, I landed 2, I need 1 more. And then I remember finally getting the 3rd one. And like at the time I was on Xbox, so it gives me like the little achievement.
The
thing.
achievement, yeah.
I was like, vindication, dude. This is sick. And now every time I play Tracer, I just spray it on like the little door before you walk out. I was like, yeah, I did that. Even though probably tons of people have already did it. I don't know. There was something about it for me. I was just like, this is sick. I like this.
I miss the old Roadhog. Roadhog was fun back.
with the infinite chain hook.
Yeah, but I mean, also like he wasn't so. I don't know. In Overwatch 2, he feels weak.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they absolutely
they nerfed him like crazy.
They neutered him.
Gotcha. Yeah.
No, there's one thing I've loved about having this version of Roadhog back is that they have a. And one of my friends told me, it's like, nah, I think he's better now. I was like, I don't know. I like old Roadhog. Back when you can like choose which style of shooting you want, if you want the long range shot or you want the close range shot. I like that. Now they're just one. It's just one shot. It's just both at the same time.
Yeah.
I was like, that's lame.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, I guess that's my Overwatch classic thing. Here's the thing. I'm glad that they're doing it.
Mm-hmm.
This is apparently different from the actual 6v6 testing that they're gonna do. They've already kind of like said, hey, I know this is Overwatch Classic at 6v6, but this is totally different from the actual 6v6 that we're trying to bring back. Because a lot of people were like, 6v6 or 5v5, which one's better? I'm gonna be honest, I don't really care.
It feels the same to me.
Yeah, it's one of those things where it's like we've been on 5v5 for so long now. I really don't remember what 6v6 felt like. Like, I think it's cool. We have like 2 tanks back or whatever. Well, right now it's like you can pick as many tanks as you want, right? Because there's no like roll queue.
Yeah.
So it's literally you could have 6 tanks, you have 6 healers or whatever. Like I remember one of the games I played, it was I don't remember the map, but it was literally like 6. It was like me and like 5 other widows. We just went all widows because it's fun. It's dumb. Like
yeah.
And you could do stuff like that. And it's like now it's like you have like 2 tanks or now it's Overwatch 2, right? It's like you have your 1 tank, you have your 2 DPS, and you have your 2 heals. Like,
yeah.
And
2 supports or
unless you go to like open queue or open roll queue, which sometimes I do because I like being a little silly and a little fun.
I don't know. I kind of prefer 6v6, but that's in all games overall. I don't like the fewer the players. It just I don't know. More people on a map seems more fun to me. It's just more people to try to kill. Huh?
You like Battlefield?
Yes. Yeah. Love Battlefield. Yeah.
I don't know. Like I said, if they want to bring back 6v6, I'll be fine. If they just keep it 5v5, I'll also be fine.
Sure.
I don't really have like
it's still fine.
I don't have like any like pressing issues.
Well, then they changed 2 tanks, 2 attackers, and then 2 supports.
Well, they did a thing recently. I think it was before Classic. They were testing out a different type of like queuing system. So it was basically like it was still the 5v5, but if somebody picked 2 tanks and somebody so it was like it'd be like 2 tanks and like 2 healers, it would force somebody to be the DPS. Or if it was like the opposite, right? If somebody picked the 2 DPS and the 2 tanks, you would have to have the other person would have to be the healer and vice versa. So it was a way of like testing out like different different mode or not modes, but like different types of play styles, I guess.
Sure.
I don't see why
to kind of counteract 6v6.
I don't see why they don't do more of the like main tank, off tank, 2 damagers and 1 healer. I mean, if you're playing long enough, healer you should be able to take care of at least 1 tank and then maybe the other one as well. Whenever I
think the easy answer for that is people just don't like playing tank, which I don't.
That's my favorite role.
Yeah, it's my favorite role too.
Yeah,
like I love playing tank. Here's the thing: if I'm not tank, I'm healer.
Tank player for life.
Yeah, like I like playing tank.
I was an Orisa main for the longest time, and then they revamped her, and it was just like I don't like her.
Yeah, like I said, I was like I used to play Roadhog. That was like my guy. And then now it's like I kind of just like switch between tanks that I feel like playing. I'm not saying I'm like super good at like one over the other. Like I feel like my Orisa, it's like I play her really well, but I don't like get the kills. Whereas like a lot of my other characters, I'm like I'm getting the kills, but I feel like I'm not playing the character like optimally.
Yeah.
Same thing with like healer. I don't like I just kind of play whoever. That's another reason I don't do ranked because people are so. There's one thing that hasn't changed about Overwatch 1 to Overwatch 2 is people are still toxic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh
But
yeah.
that's any game, right?
That's any game, especially on ranked.
Yeah.
You're gonna get that, no matter what game you play.
Yeah, that's why I do quick play.
Yeah.
It's also I just don't have time for ranked.
Yeah.
Especially like if you get stuck on Overwatch 2 like ranked and you get escort, like you have to escort, and then you have to switch sides, and then they have to escort, and if you both tie, then you both have to do it again.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Yeah.
this is taking so long.
Yeah.
I was like, that's why I do quick play, man. It's like, okay, you escort, you either did it or you didn't. And then, okay, next game.
Yeah. It's very to the point.
Yeah, and that's like, I don't know. I'm not like some sort of like elitist. Like, oh, there's people who are like that. It's like, oh, you only play quick play, like you're trash, or oh, all you do is comp. You're like,
Yes, I am. Thank you for noticing.
Yeah.
Now, can you leave me alone and let me play?
yeah. Well, because and I don't understand that. Like, well, I get it, but like I also don't like when people like get mad that you're playing really bad on quick play. I'm like, dude, we're in quick play.
Damn.
It's like take that stuff to comp. Dude.
I didn't know.
Like,
What's the thing that that's my phone. What's the thing that Josh says? It's like, I didn't know we were rank arena when we're playing Smite.
Oh yeah.
yeah, dude. It's just like we're in quick play. If you really if you think we're so bad, just leave. Like just leave. Like it's so easy. It's literally like what you'll get timed out for like a minute or something, or however long the game takes. Because that's the thing that happens, right? If you leave early from a quick play game, there's like a time delay before you can like requeue.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, it's like, I don't know, dude, just leave and then like go get like some water.
A minute feels worth it.
Yeah, it's just like,
But I mean, that goes back to like, hey, games are supposed to be fun. That's why there's ranked. That's why there's competitive. If you like and enjoy those types of gameplay, go play those games. I'm not saying you shouldn't be allowed to play, regular gameplay or quick play or whatever. But you have to understand that that's where everybody goes to. That's where the new players go to. That's where the people who just picked up the game goes to. It's like,
well, I don't know if it's still like this because it's been so long since I've had to play. But I think originally it's like you had to play quick play for like a certain amount of hours or something before you can actually unlock competitive play.
that's most games now. Yeah. You
I
have to
think
do that. So it's
that's
like,
how Smite was, right?
yeah. You have to get level 30. And I mean, if you're really putting in hours, I mean, you're going to be playing that game for like a month straight or longer. And it's just like, but Overwatch 2, our Overwatch, if they had something like that, it's just like,
I think
cool.
like I said, I think it's like that. I think it's either you have to have a certain amount of hours or you have to reach a certain level, like progression level. I think. Again, it's been so long.
Didn't it used to be like you hit level 5 or level 10 or something like that?
I think it was you had to like hit level 50.
Because I think I can play ranked. I don't know. To be fair, I haven't hit the button yet, so I don't know. I don't even know if it's gonna let me.
Oh.
I don't know.
So-
Rank's not worth it. I don't know.
No.
I don't know. Rank can be fun. Like I said, if you're going in with like a squad of 5, like and it's just your squad, then sure, yeah, rank can be fun. But if you're playing with a bunch of like randos, who are just gonna be too sweaty about it, like no. Like I don't care.
Well, it also depends on what type of game and what game it is.
That's true.
Because if you're going in to play a game and you just want to be really sweaty, really competitive at it, I'm only going to play ranked because it's just like, well, this other one is not keeping my progress.
Mm-hmm.
It's progress for me to show like, oh, hey, I've played this many matches or whatever, but it's not showing if it's not giving me like a bar to reach. Like, hey, I don't know if I'm getting better or not because I'm just still playing
random.
open games or quick games or whatever. And,
No, I get it.
yeah.
Yeah. I'll only play ranked if the boys start playing ranked.
I've been trying to get people to play Overwatch. Nobody wants to play with me.
Hey, I'm playing Overwatch right now.
He's been playing Overwatch.
I've been playing Overwatch.
See, why are we playing?
I don't know.
That's what I was.
It's you, man.
All I'm hearing is nobody wants to play.
Hey, man.
Yeah.
I'm on Discord all the time. I don't know where
Yeah,
everybody
but you guys
else
are on.
is.
You guys are on like so late.
Because
Like,
that's the only time we can play.
Yeah, you guys are on. And
We
it's
are,
it's my
yeah.
bedtime, dude.
I work night.
Well,
shifts.
you're overnight, so you're going to be on all
I
night.
have to
I'm up
be.
all night. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
by the time you guys actually get on, it's like I gotta go to bed, dude.
All right, too fair.
well, we just got to plan it a little
We
better.
just gotta play on
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Anyway, yeah, Overwatch Classic. It's fun.
Yeah.
I guess.
Try it out if you haven't.
Yeah, if you haven't tried, it's Overwatch is free now. You could just play it.
Yeah, you just play it.
Anyway, yeah, that's my little thing that I thought was interesting.
Cool. I mentioned this in another previous episode. Is Arcane season 2 was coming out
Yes.
in all across November, and I've been watching.
And
those
how's it been?
episodes. It's been great. They're doing the same thing. I don't know if you remember. I also mentioned this previous episode. They're doing the same thing this year. What they did when season 1 came out is they're releasing them in 3 episode acts, right? So
Yeah.
they released the first 3 episodes November 9th, and then they released the next 3 episodes, episode 4, 5, and 6, this Friday. Friday.
You're asking the wrong guy. Yeah. Let's just assume it was Friday.
It was the 16th.
15th. That was yesterday.
Yesterday. So
yeah,
yesterday. So they just released the next 3 episodes yesterday as of this recording. And it's been great. It's been amazing. They're continuing immediately after the last season, which ended on a really great note, really crazy note that I'm not going to say because one person here is watching it and has only made it to episode 6 of the first season. Episode 6?
Yeah. Technically, I'm on episode 7.
Starting episode.
I finished the first 2 episodes.
Sure. Oh boy.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's been crazy. I don't want to say too much because
I haven't seen season 3.
Yeah.
I'm waiting for all the episodes to come out. Then I'm gonna go watch them all, and then
Season 2.
Season 2. What did I say? Season 3?
Season 3. I don't know. Maybe.
I was talking about What If earlier. My bad.
True.
Season 2.
And they did say there's only going to be 2 seasons for Arcane, but they did say that they want to say more stories for the other stories that are happening in the world of League of Legends.
Awesome.
Which, by the way, you don't need to know anything about League of Legends to watch these shows. They're good on their own. I didn't know anything about League of Legends when I first saw this, and it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think I played League like once, and I was like, "This is too complicated for me." There's too many things going on.
Every person that I've talked to that plays League that has watched the show, and I've mentioned, "Hey, is League any good?" And they're like, "Don't play it. Don't play it." And this isn't some like, oh, like 80% of the player base is like joking around. There has not been a single person that I have talked to about this show and League of Legends that have said you should play League of Legends.
League of Legends is fun if you have friends that play League of Legends. If you don't have friends that play League of Legends, going in and playing it is like, how can I put it for you? Okay, you go play Smite ranked by yourself.
Oh,
with less experience than what you have already, and that's what it feels like playing regular League of Legends. It's horrible every game. I like it, but it's not worth starting.
It's not worth starting. Copy that. That's another person.
No.
Yeah, like I said, I think I tried League of Legends, and I was like, yeah, this ain't for me. I'm gonna play Teamfight Tactics. I was like,
I get it.
I'm still bad at that game, but I was like, this is more my speed.
Sure.
I was like, I can at least figure this out. I don't know what the meta is or anything like that, but I can figure it out.
Hey, as long as you're having fun.
Whereas
right?
like it feels like I'm so like I have no idea what's going on. In League, and I think we talked about this the same thing with Smite. It's like there's so many buttons I have to press, and I'm like I don't know what's good or not. And then like if I let the game like auto pick for me, it's like I don't know if they're picking the good stuff.
Yeah.
So it's like I don't want to bother.
Sure.
And I don't want to like have to like do a bunch of research on how to do it.
To be fair, a lot of the auto buy stuff versus Smite is pretty decent, unless you want to do like a very specific like I'm gonna do crit mount with lifesteal, things like that.
No.
But I mean,
most games are set up pretty easily for like, especially new players. Hey, you can just auto buy everything and MOBAs. I shouldn't say every game, but MOBAs. Yeah.
Like I actually think League of Legends looks cool. Like,
sure.
Like the actual game.
It does.
I kind of like how it's like, it's not really top down, but it's like a
angled down.
Yeah, it's like
with like
down.
a high third person.
Yeah,
yes.
And it's like you can control it with your mouse, where like
it's mouse drag instead of.
I was like, I was like, I don't know, that's kind of neat.
Yeah.
I was like, there's things I could like about it. It's just I don't want to commit to playing it. One because like,
if it was an RTS, would you like it?
I was just going to ask that. Like that's all that's been going through my head. I was like, man,
because it's kind of built to look like an RTS kind of.
100%. Like that's well, because that's where it came from.
Yeah.
So I mean they made League of Legends because Dota was a thing, and it was just like Dota was a thing because StarCraft was a thing, or because Warcraft was a thing, and it was like, oh, they just came from one. So
would I like it more if it's a real time strategy?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
No. Because
I don't really.
Do you play? Do you play RTSs?
Yeah, that's the thing. I was like, I don't really play them, so I can't really say if I would.
Fair enough.
But because like even like StarCraft, that looks too complicated for me.
Fair.
To me, StarCraft is the top probably 5 games of all time. I love StarCraft.
Chronically play it, right?
Yeah. I used to play like competitively. No, StarCraft is wonderful. But
I'll stick to my silly little card games.
But to me, StarCraft is more complicated than League. as far as what you have to manage, right? Because you're managing like 200 person armies.
I could never.
Sending them here while farming minerals, while searching out and scouting, and you're playing against other people who are trying to do the same things to you. So
See, no,
it's fun.
That's why I like single player games. Is I just have to worry about myself, me and I.
Yeah,
that is I cannot manage. I cannot manage more than 4 people.
Well, I mean, there's great single player RTS.
Yeah,
I mean, the campaigns are wonderful.
Sure.
But, I mean, if you like that type of thing without having to play multiplayer, you don't have to play multiplayer.
I'll play it like how I play Pokemon. My starters, the one getting everything.
See, that's why I think I like Overwatch, because it's like a team thing. And granted, Smite and League are also a team thing.
Sure.
But like, I feel like Smite and like League, there's more of an emphasis on like doing your own thing. Whereas like, I feel like Overwatch, you kind of need to like, not like, you don't have to be in a group, but like there's more of an emphasis on like
teamwork.
Teamwork.
I say that's true to a certain degree of how sweaty you are and how good you are with the character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, how many times in Overwatch has your entire team been wiped by one person?
Oh,
it happens.
Oh yeah, it happens.
And it's just like, wow. And you're rewatching the replay, and it's like, I don't know what just happened.
Yeah.
But
Malga.
Oh yeah.
Bro, I hate Malga. And it's
you hate playing as him or hate playing against him?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Because when I go up against, and this might just. I might just be trash at Overwatch, which is probably the case. As I'm just trash. But like every time I face a Malga, I feel like I can't kill him, and then when I try to play Malga, I feel like I'm dying all the time.
Yeah.
That's most that's most games. Yeah,
that sounds right. Yeah,
like you especially I don't know, from Black Ops to COD to Smite to whatever League. You see someone play a character and it's just like, wow, that's really awesome. I'm gonna try that.
It looks completely
never
different.
happens.
Yep.
Never happens. I get it.
But I also feel like Malga is one of those characters where it's like that's kind of just the consensus. A lot of people don't like him.
Yeah, mm-hmm.
Because he is just kind of like he's like super tanky, and then he has that one ability. I forget what it's called, but it's like he like does damage, but he heals at the same time.
Oh, like the
I forget what it's called.
Yeah,
I was gonna say Overgrow, but I don't think it's Overgrow. It's something like that. Over something. Overwatch.
It's Overwatch. Yeah.
But yeah.
Title of the game. Title of the game. He said it.
He said the thing.
He said the thing.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I'll stick to my silly little card games.
Sure.
Like, because like back in the day, like before, I think this was even before I played Overwatch. I played like a lot of Hearthstone. I didn't put any money into it, but I just played it a lot, and I've kind of gotten back into it again. I haven't spent any money because I know if I did, I'd spend too much money.
There we go.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I like card games.
Hearthstone was fun.
Yeah.
I like it.
Very good.
I think it's like simple to understand.
I played Slay the Spire like briefly. It was pretty fun.
That one's pretty fun too.
Pretty fun.
Yeah.
It's pretty fun.
Yep. Yeah. I try everything at least once if I can.
Yeah.
And then
it's pretty fun.
But yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yeah, that's mine. It's my thing that I've been doing.
Yeah. Which I guess kind of leads into our main discussion, right?
Yeah.
Technically, Arcane is a video game
adaptation.
Is it really an adaptation? I mean, I guess.
Well,
I don't know.
It really depends on what you consider an adaptation.
Well, that's the thing, right? It's like there's adaptations, and then there's like, because this isn't really an adaptation. It's not adapting anything other than it's just set in the world of League of Legends.
Well, I mean, some of the abilities that the characters use are being used in the show.
True.
From the game.
Yeah, straight up.
But I mean, like what he was saying. I look at it like as adaptations or interpretations, or just it's just or not really necessarily just an adaptation. That term is really widely loosely used. I think incorrectly sometimes, because they're like, some companies will come out and say, oh yeah, it's an adaptation of this. We're not going to delve too far into other avenues right now. It's just mainly going to be video games today, but say like an adaptation of whatever game, and it's like, well, were you just trying to adapt it, or were you trying to change the entire story around and just put some characters in there that were named the same? So that's why I said adaptation is kind of like, this is more of like an opinionated kind of thing. If you're going to make a game after the video game and do it, stay true to the video game, I think that's cool. And if you're going to make a movie that's just set in the video game world that doesn't have to do with the specific characters, I'm cool with that too.
Sure.
We're going to be getting into this today. My main issues, if I have any issues with it, is when you try to change the characters a little bit too much, and it's just like, I don't know, give this person a cut off arm with a rocket on his hand when he never had that or something. I'm not saying that's specific to any movie or adaptation, but that's the extreme I'm speaking about.
Right,
So,
right.
yeah. But yeah. So I mean, what are your thoughts on it? You like adaptations? You don't like adaptations?
The problem with video game adaptations, it's that it has to take something that could be anywhere between like 10 hours and like 24 plus hours, right? And crunch it into 2 hours, sometimes 3 at the most.
Sure.
And when you do something like that, you cut out a lot. And video games are like kind of like in this weird thing. It's not really like how do I want to say this? I don't know. Video games are more like an experience than an actual like thing that you just do.
Sure.
I mean, yeah, you play the game, but you're also experiencing it. So doing a live action movie adaptation of something that you like played as a game, it could be hit or miss, right? Because you might not have the same feeling as you did when you played it, because it has to cut out a lot of stuff. In preparation for this, I watched, for this topic, I watched the Uncharted movie, as well as like the Tomb Raider movie from 2018. I think the Tomb Raider movie was.
Yeah.
And the thing that I kind of found with both of those movies, I think more so from the Uncharted movie, is that, yeah, these are decent action adventure movies, but I don't think they capture the essence of the games that they're portraying. They kind of just feel like any other action adventure thing, and we're just going to put the game title.
Right. We're going to label all these characters as characters you might know.
Yeah.
Right,
and
right.
More so, I had a problem with like the Uncharted movie, because Uncharted is like my favorite gaming like franchise of like all time. So I was going to be more critical about it, like regardless. But like even when I checked up like on Rotten Tomato scores, like the critics gave it like I think it was like 46 something %, but like the audience was like 90 something, and I was like, I don't know, I didn't think it was that good. Like as a fan of the franchise, I was like, I don't think these characters are being portrayed very well.
I've only played one game from Uncharted, and I didn't like it as an Uncharted video game movie. Yeah, they had character names and sort of set in the world, and maybe something that you could have done in the video games, the plot of the movie, but it wasn't. It's one of those things where it's like I totally didn't picture Tom Holland.
Yeah.
It was just like that's like you could have picked a little bit older actor. I mean,
who was the actor that was playing
Sullivan?
Yeah,
Mark Wahlberg. That was okay to me. To me, that was fine. But the Tom Holland, the Drake character, Drake, right?
Nathan Drake.
Right.
Because a couple of years ago, they they do the whole rumor mill, and actors come out and talk about like, hey, I'd love to do this, or whatever.
Sure.
To me, Nathan Fillion did that. It was like in a little promo thing or little. That would have been amazing.
Yeah,
him as Nathan Drake.
Legitimately, I was thanking him when we said like
when they first announced the movie.
They
I was
did
like,
that little short film.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. Like when they first announced the movie, I was like hoping like, oh man, it's gonna be awesome. And they said Tom Holland. It's like, wow. Well, first of all, he's kind of young. I mean, for the character, but I don't know. That doesn't really matter.
Was the movie, because I haven't seen the movie.
Okay.
And I haven't really played any of the Uncharted games, right? So complete newbie here. Was the movie based on one of the games? Like it had like
so it took elements of the third and the fourth game, but it's not really either.
Okay.
Like, and I think that's one of my big problems with it, is that it kind of takes creative liberty with some of the stuff.
Sure.
But it still doesn't feel like Uncharted. Like, so in Uncharted, they have Sam, who's Nathan's brother, and we don't get introduced to Sam until the fourth game, which is basically the final of like the Nathan Drake like saga.
Sure.
They did do a game after that with Chloe Fraser, and I forget the other girl's name, but she's like a side character that's in the fourth game, and Chloe is from the second and the third. Again, that doesn't matter. I don't know why I'm explaining that. Anyway, they took the idea of Sam being like his brother, and they kind of like retroactively put that in the movie to like give like some sort of context of like how Sully would like find a way to I guess get connected with Nathan. But like in the actual fourth game, Sully didn't even know about Sam because Nathan always kept Sam like a secret.
Oh, okay.
And then like how Nathan meets Sully is completely different. He kind of just meets him like randomly in I think some random country in South America, because he's trying to like Nathan's trying to like steal something. That's actually how he ends up getting his ring that he wears like on his necklace. Whereas like in the movie, Sam gives it to him, and like I don't really have a problem with that, but like I don't know, it's just they don't really. It's like they try to be different, but at the same time, it kind of just doesn't really.
It doesn't feel like Uncharted.
Yeah, it doesn't really feel like Uncharted. It doesn't make sense because, like, again, why would Sully like have met Sam,
Right.
and like why would they have known each other?
Okay.
And like, I don't know. It just for me, it's like,
Mm.
it doesn't really make sense because that's like one of the bigger plot points of the movie. It's like, hey, I knew your brother. It's like, oh, you knew Sam. It's like, is he okay? He's like, and the whole like spoilers for anybody who hasn't seen the Uncharted movie. So he's like. You know, it kind of comes out that Sam died while he was like working with Sully, but Sully kind of just left him to die because it was like, well, it's either it's either like we both die or you know one of us dies, and like Sully was supposed to be more worried about like the treasure, and that's another thing that I didn't really like about the movie is like they kind of make Sully seem like a really bad person when in the games he's a thief, but like he has like this relationship with Nathan, and it's supposed to be like this really like not really like a father figure, but like a
mentor.
Yeah, kind of like a mentor. Like he looks out for Nathan. You know, he doesn't want anything bad to happen to him. Because in the third game, that's kind of how he meets. You know, he steals something, and then like Sully kind of like he's like, hey, you kind of stole something. And as Nathan's trying to get away, I think he has like a gun pulled to him, and Sully basically saves him. And after that, that's when he sees how good Nathan actually is at like stealing stuff, and he like takes him under his wing. And that's how they form their relationship. But in the entire movie, it's like they're kind of like at odds with each other until the very end of the movie. And I'm like, that's not their relationship in the game. It's like they're very much like a unit. They understand each other.
They're tight.
Yeah, they're basically they're tight. They basically have done everything with each other throughout the entire series. And like to have them just kind of come in and be like, it's like, hey, you know, you're pretty good at what you do. Well, I don't care what you think. And it's like, yeah, but your brother Sam, you know, he thought the world of you. He was like, oh, you know Sam? I was like, yeah, I know Sam, but I need you for this job. And it's like, oh, okay, I guess I'll, you know, if you can help me find Sam, I guess that that works out. And again, this is an overgeneralization of the movie.
Sure.
I would probably just recommend that you watch it. Because here's the thing, at the end of the day, yeah, it's not a good Uncharted movie, but it's still a decent action adventure.
Okay.
Yeah, if you go into it looking at it as an action adventure movie, you know,
pretty good.
It's okay.
It's pretty good.
Pretty good.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's worse out there.
Sure.
Like I said, it's a very loose interpretation of like the third and the fourth game. They mix elements of both.
But I think that's a big issue with a lot of video game movies. And you know, it's like what we were stating earlier. It was, you know, they're very loosely based on this world or whatever. We've already discussed this one, but look at Borderlands. You know.
Yeah.
You know, things like that. And I mean, don't get me wrong. There's been some Uncharted, as you said, was a great movie. Was a decent movie. But there's some out there that were just like, they weren't even a really good movie, like just to begin with, you know?
Yeah.
So it just depends on, you know, what's your cup of tea, you know, and sometimes it can be a really bad movie, but if you really enjoyed the video game, you're still going to watch it and you're going to like the movie as well. Right.
Yeah.
Like the original, speaking of the original Super Mario Brothers movie, it was a pretty horrible movie with John Leguizamo and, God, what's his name? Can't remember his name. Actually, I brought notes. 1 second.
Wow.
Y'all can talk about something.
Look at the nerd bringing his notes.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, I gotta have notes. I mean, I can't remember everything that I'm gonna try to speak on. You know,
You
came prepared.
Yeah, I did.
We're just kind of going off the top of it.
Yeah, top of it. Well, I mean, actually, I made notes of everything that I've seen, so that way I could be like, hey, you know what?
Oh,
okay,
so this isn't just a list of random.
No, I've seen these. These are the ones that I've seen. See,
That's a lot.
No, it's not that. It's not that many.
That's-
No, these are TV shows as well. These TV shows as well.
Yeah,
longer.
Yeah,
wow.
but
You know what?
Yeah, but we'll get into TV show
yeah.
adaptations in a little bit.
Yeah, that'll be in a little bit. But here you go. I'm done. Bob Hoskins. That's what that was his name. So, anyways, Bob Hoskins, John Leguizamo. The movie was horrible. It was not a good movie. It was funny and corny for its time. But you know, hey, you like Super Mario? It had a lot of the, you know. Yeah, I guess, you know, names of characters in there, and they went to, you know, chase. They went after Bowser and
39 million. Wow.
what's that
For the earnings.
for that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, back in what 90?
93.
93. Yeah, not bad. Or 93.
Pretty good.
It's all right. But then like okay, so going off of that, I mean, but then sometimes you get into like see, yeah, you know what? You saying that made me think of this one movie, and that's why I'm like, you know what? There was this one movie that was like really. You look at all those. Then you have something like Tekken.
I didn't
you
even
ever
know
seen
that
Tekken?
existed.
The live action movie.
I've never. Yeah, I'm with Vic. I didn't even know that was a movie.
Okay, yeah, they've made. I think they've made 2.
Me too.
Okay, but the first Tekken, I was so hyped. It was 2010. Okay, John Fu was Jin. I think Kelly Overton was God. Who was she? She wasn't. I mean, I can't remember who she was.
Wait, actually, you know what? I think I have seen the movie. I just don't remember it.
Yeah, it was like they're organizing the underground fight and all that. It kind of okay. Yeah, it made 1.7 million at the box office, and so needless to say, it made hardly any money whatsoever. Those are just a couple. Well, yeah, friend over here, Vic, pointed to another one, Far Cry. Which up until a couple years ago, I didn't even know they had made a movie out of the video game. And sadly, in 2008, Far Cry only made $740,000 at the box office. So, I just brought a list of ones. So if we get into any of the other ones, I can remember what I'm speaking on or whatever. But yeah, you have some bad ones. You have some good ones. What's a good one to you? Like what's top video game movie that you've seen? Heard of, seen, whatever.
So I'll actually counter you real quick.
Okay.
Going back to Uncharted, I'm keeping it with the same developer,
Okay.
the Uncharted show, the Last of Us show, because those are both Naughty Dog properties.
Okay.
Naughty Dog made Uncharted. Naughty Dog also made The Last of Us, and this is what I wanted to get to is that I don't think video games, in terms of like adaptations, suit well for movies. I think they actually do better with TV shows.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was
Well, that
thinking,
makes sense of what you were
But granted,
saying.
that's not always the case. I mean, you look at the Halo show, and the Halo show was bad.
I don't know.
It wasn't because it was a show. There was probably other things that
I don't know.
made a lot of.
I
people not
kind of
like it.
I kind of like the Halo. So have you seen the whole show?
I've seen a good majority of it.
Yeah, but like,
well, first off,
here's the
let's
thing,
get to
though.
what.
And-
Yeah.
But like, here's the thing: that show is bad compared to like Fallout.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
The Fallout show is really good.
Fallout show was
Comparatively-
really really good.
Like, and that's a
Comparatively,
TV
yeah,
show.
yeah,
Again,
yeah.
The Last of Us was a TV show, and I think the reason those types of shows or those adaptations succeed is because they're over a longer period of time.
They give them time to breathe.
You don't have to crunch.
Yeah.
Like if they redid Uncharted and they made it a TV show and you did it based on like the first game or something, like it could probably be a really decent show.
Yeah.
True. Okay, but what if they made Uncharted like just say they just like, hey, we're gonna follow the series, right? So we're gonna make one movie. If they had made the Uncharted movie after the first game and just like maybe like just a portion of the first game and did it really well, do you think it would have played well? Or are you saying like just in general it being too long of a game to kind of shove everything into a 2-hour long movie?
Because at that point you'd have to cut stuff.
Yeah. Okay.
Like because here's the thing: at the end of the day, they're adventure games.
I got you.
You can't really skirt around the idea of the
adventure part, yeah,
without cutting corners somewhere.
Yeah.
Like in the first game, there's like a chase sequence where you're like running on stones as like the stones behind you are like collapsing.
Yeah.
And like that's a really cool experience. And then there's a lot of chase scenes and stuff like that.
And
there's also like supernatural elements in those original games. There's zombie like spirit like things and like monsters and stuff. And that's another thing I really didn't like about the this game. Granted, the fourth game is also like that. There's not really anything like that, but like there's none of the like kind of mystical elements.
Oh, okay.
That you see in the previous
right.
entries. Like Uncharted 1, 2. I think even 3 has a little bit of that. It's literally just, hey, here's a treasure, we found it. Like,
yeah.
Because here's the thing: the plot of the Uncharted movie is basically parts of 3 with like the ending of 4. Because like, at the end of the Uncharted movie, they find.
I only played 3, so yes.
Yeah. So at the end of Uncharted 4, they find these 2 ships and they have like a ton of gold and stuff, and that's basically how the movie ends. It's like they find these ships with a ton of like gold and stuff, and they end up transporting it. And by the end of the movie, they lose all the treasure.
Yeah.
Because Sully decides like, hey, Nathan's life is worth more than all the treasure. Which again,
yeah,
it should have just been like that the entire time.
Right,
but again, for the narrative that they were telling, it made sense.
Sure.
But again, as an Uncharted thing, it doesn't.
If they were to call the movie Treasure Hunter instead, like not Uncharted.
Yeah, well, that's the thing, right? It's like here's the thing. At its core, if this wasn't branded with the Uncharted name, it'd probably just be a really decent action movie or action adventure movie, like something akin to like a Indiana Jones or something like that. But because it's Uncharted, you have to look at it as like an Uncharted thing.
Yeah.
And I think as an Uncharted thing, it's not that great because I think it doesn't do the characters justice. And I think another part of it is that I just don't believe like Mark Wahlberg is Sully or that Tom Holland is Nathan, because there is a scene in the movie where they do like a time skip and they do the kid Nathan, and then it like fades into Tom Holland as Nathan, and like Tom Holland looks younger than the guy who's playing Kid Nathan, and they look nothing like each other. Like the guy who plays Kid Nathan, he actually looks a little bit like the Kid Nathan Drake in Uncharted like 3 and 4.
Sure.
And then they get to Tom Holland, and he doesn't look anything like Nathan Drake, like at all. Same thing with Sully. I don't think Mark Wahlberg looked like Sully at all. Even like because at the very end of the movie, this was a lot of people's problem, is that he didn't have the iconic mustache of Sully. It's not until like the end credit, like post credit scene where he has the mustache, and even then, I don't really think he looks like Sully. Like he just looks like Mark Wahlberg with a mustache. Like,
wow.
And I'm not saying
Agreed.
I'm not saying like your characters have to look like the characters that they're portraying.
Yeah,
but it helps. Like
it does help.
If they don't look like, they don't have to look like 1-to-1, but if they look so off that you don't really believe that they're the characters, like I don't know, it takes me out, because like I said, Nathan Drake has a very like a certain look to him, like. And I don't think Tom Holland looked like Nathan Drake. I think he just looked like Tom Holland, Whereas like I looked at, like, again, going back to that short film, Nathan Fillion looks like Nathan Drake. Like the hairstyle he had, his face, like the shape of his face, he looks like Nathan Drake.
Yeah.
And like Tom Holland, like he just looks too young. And looking too young is cool when you're trying to play Peter Parker who's in high school.
Right.
But when you're trying to play a guy who's like in his mid-20s, early 30s in Nathan Drake, which is I think in the movie he's like 25 or something, and you look like you're like 16, it's kind of a problem. Now, if they had gone with the idea of, hey, this is a teenage Nathan Drake,
okay,
like,
different,
and then like I'd be having a different point of view on it. But he's supposed to be in like his mid-20s, and he looks like he's like in high school. I just don't look at him as Nathan Drake. I just look at him as like some kid. And again, with Sully, he's like, Sully, like in the games, I think he's like in his 50s, maybe 60s.
Yep.
He's pretty old. He's going gray. And it's just like, I don't think Mark Wahlberg looks like Sully at all. Like, I also don't think they capture the essence of those characters. Like, Tom Holland, like, he has the quips of a Nathan Drake, because, again, I think he gets that from like Spider-Man, because Spider-Man's also very quippy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know. He just feels like somebody who's just like playing a role. He doesn't feel like the role he's supposed to be playing. He just feels like, hey, I showed up, I did my job. Like, here you go. It also might be that I just don't feel like him and Mark Wahlberg had like the greatest chemistry. Because again, Nathan, and again, I'm probably overthinking this, because like the story that they're telling is him and Sully aren't very close.
Yeah.
Like, they don't really trust each other. It's not until the very end of the movie where they trust each other. And it's just like, I don't know. I don't buy these people as like these two individuals that I'm supposed to be like familiar with. They just feel like people.
Yeah.
And I think when you're doing an adaptation of something, they should try to do their best to feel like the thing that they're coming from. Even if you're telling a different type of story, they should feel like the character.
True, but do you think that's an issue with like the movie?
Yes, it's 100%. It's 100% a problem with the plot of the movie.
It's like, sometimes I would just like, I sit here and wonder, like, do you directors and producers and people who are making, do you even watch this? Have you ever watched this? Have you ever played this?
Wow.
Have you spent 5 minutes in the game just to see, that, hey, this may not even, this item or this thing doesn't do what you're trying to make it do, or this character doesn't act how you're trying to make them portray that character because you want some, you want them to act your way. And when it's like, hey, this is a beloved character, or this is something that people, millions of people play this video game and love it. And if you're coming out and like just crapping all over that, that's an issue with a whole bunch of things. But I mean, it's especially when they're making movies from other things, whether it be video games or whatever. It's like they're just like, oh, this is cool and it makes money. Let's just make it, and put the name on it. There's been a couple of throughout the time, like you were talking about Uncharted, but it was like, I'm trying to think of ones that were like, I go to like a horror one, so like Resident Evil. Okay, I love the Resident Evil series movies. There's like what 5 of them now. I don't know. 5 of them.
Yep.
Yeah,
And-
well, there's a lot, and then there's also a TV series.
Yeah, and Mila Jovovich played. I love the character, and she played it. She was in all 5 movies, and now those movies could have been great. They were great movies on their own. It's like a horror movie, but having the things that were in the games as well, it made it kind of enjoyable. Though to me, those were enjoyable movies made out of a what a video game was or in its kind of world or whatever. And granted, they weren't one for one. They weren't using the same exact everything, exact locations, and they did.
But,
The story was pretty good.
That's things like like how you said earlier. It's like they don't the characters don't need to look exactly like the video game characters, but it helps. I think the same thing with some like prop like locations. It's like I understand that sometimes video games are hard to recreate in real life, but sometimes it does help if some things look the same.
True, because sometimes it's like well, you're making that's where I come back to. You're just making the movie as a cash grab, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's popular right now, so we're gonna put it out there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the ones that I put on my list, but it was like Max Payne. Did we ever really need a Max Payne movie? No, it was horrible. It was absolutely the Far. Okay, like you said, you were like Far Cry movie. Okay, there are certain movies out there where it's like I didn't even know there was a video game adaptation of Dragon's Dogma. That's a TV series. Sorry. There was like 1 or 2 other ones on here that I had to go watch because I was like I couldn't believe.
I really need to see this.
Like I forgot I had seen it years ago, but I forgot there was a Need for Speed movie.
Yeah.
And it was just like just certain little things like that where it's like, well, okay, I can get that. Hitman, a couple of them is just like you were just making it to, if it's unique enough to where you're gonna be able to tell a decent story and everything, cool. But if you're just making it to make it, and it's kind of like, you're half doing it, doing a half job. I don't think you should do it. I mean, it's, but then there's other ones that just have the nostalgia, right? So you like your Mortal Kombat, your Street Fighters, right? People who love Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter, they're gonna go watch a Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter movie because they want to see the characters brought to life, right? Were they good? That's debatable. The recent Mortal Kombat I think was pretty good.
Yeah.
The older Mortal Kombats, they were corny. They were corny. We had to talk about that with my wife the other day, and she really loves the older movies.
I own one of those on DVD.
I sort of like them, but like Mortal Kombat Annihilation, which was the second one from the original, that's like voted
Earthworm Jim.
Yeah,
Holy moly!
that's voted on Rotten Tomatoes like one of the worst movies ever made. the Mortal Kombat Annihilation. So it's like, it just hit her, and that one did really well with like putting locations and putting names and trying to they tried to get the characters right. But yeah, I don't know. I think that's my biggest issue. Just, doing it to do it, not doing it because it's a good idea and you have like the perfect cast and the perfect location and the perfect amount of money. Because we all have to be honest, every movie now is going to be using, especially movies with video games, you're going to be using CGI. And you're going to have to use it.
Yeah.
And if it's not good, if it's not good, and if you just, you're not going to follow the story at least a little bit, then you just don't do it. Leave it alone and,
or
move
call
on.
it something else.
Do something. Yeah. Call it something else. Make a whole nother movie.
Yeah.
Make a whole nother movie. Call it, Monster Pals. And, they come out of balls, like that. Make that movie. Don't.
Whoa. Nintendo might sue you if you do that.
I'm just saying, like, anyway.
I don't know, because like I look at I hate that I'm still like bringing it up, but like the Uncharted again, I'm very passionate about the Uncharted series, so like
Okay.
I took the Uncharted movie very personally.
Yeah. Wow.
And that movie's been in development hell for years. That movie, I think they were talking about making that movie back in like 2008 or something.
Yeah.
And then it went through
Wow.
like 6 different directors, 6 different writers, because they would get somebody to do it, and then they would start working on it, but then they'd like, now we're backing out, and they'd go do some other movie.
Yeah.
I think at one point they had like Zachary Levi, and then he left, and then he went to go do Fall Guys, Free Guy,
Which was a
Hey.
great movie.
Yeah.
Good movie.
and it's just like they've been through so many different changes with that movie. Like originally, Mark Wahlberg was supposed to be Nathan Drake, but the movie took so long, he got too old to play Nathan Drake, according to people.
I still think he could have pulled off Nathan Drake better than Tom Holland.
Yeah, but I still don't think he looks like Nathan Drake.
Oh no, he doesn't. I didn't say he looks like him. I'm just actually maybe not. Okay, yeah.
No, he doesn't. To me, he looks nothing like.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't.
Yeah,
I didn't say. I don't think he looks like him
I
at
think
all.
At some point, he was supposed to be Nathan Drake, and I think Robert De Niro was supposed to be his like his father or his uncle or something like that.
Whoa.
It was a really weird script idea.
Whoa. That's interesting.
But yeah, it's just like I don't know. I don't think video games really mesh well with movies.
Yeah.
Especially if they're like narrative driven, like something like
Or
Uncharted.
like story.
Now you can
story
look at
heavy,
something like the Super Mario Bros. Movie, where it's not narrative driven. That's a perfectly good hour and a half movie. Same with like the Sonic movies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, which is why I think they did so well.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
And then like Sonic 3 is coming out, and I cannot wait for that.
Yeah. Well, Sonic 1 and 2 were great.
Yeah.
I mean, they were good movies.
Yeah, I actually the other day because I was talking with my mom because I want to go see Sonic 3, but I was like, I don't want to go alone.
Sure.
I don't like going to movies alone.
Sure, sure.
I know you said you like doing it.
You
or
sound like my
can do it.
sister.
Yeah, I hate doing it. So I was like, hey mom, what are you doing in December? And she's like, I don't know why. I was like, I want to go see the Sonic 3 movie, but I don't want to go alone. So I need you to watch the first two. I need you to watch the first two because I had them on my iTunes. I had bought them.
Nice.
They were on sale.
Okay.
I was like, you're gonna watch them. I don't want to force you to watch them. And she but she liked the movies.
Yeah.
Like
they're good
fact,
movies.
In fact,
they're good
she
movies.
liked the movies so much. She asked me if I would watch the Knuckles show with her.
Whoa.
That's how much.
Wow.
That's how much she liked
like her own
violation.
violation.
Volition.
Volition. That's cool.
They were Paramount. They were on Paramount Plus. Like you couldn't watch it without Paramount Plus, but they ended up putting them on like Nickelodeon, and she saw that they were on Nickelodeon, so she recorded them, and she was like, you want to watch them? And I was like, sure. I already seen the show, but I was like, sure. Like I'll watch it again. It's not like a great show or anything. It's fine for what it is.
Decent.
But she wanted to go out of her way to watch it, and that at that point it's like, hey, these movies are good, or at least they're at least cute enough for her to want to do that.
Yeah.
And those aren't narrative. Again, they're not narrative. They have a narrative, but they're not like the strongest.
They're not heavy.
Like literally the plot of the first Sonic movie was, hey, my rings are in San Francisco. You have to drive me to San Francisco so I can go get my rings so I can go to a different world. Like it's basically like a road trip buddy movie. Like,
yeah.
And then the second one, it's like, hey, now we got to fight Knuckles, and he's working with Robotnik. Like these aren't super plot heavy movies.
Yeah.
But they're still enjoyable, probably because they're not super plot heavy, and you can just kind of shut off your brain. And
they're
just
very simple.
Yeah, again, the children's movies.
Yeah.
But like I look at the Mario movie, that did it got so much money, and the plot of that movie is very basic and simple.
Well, to be fair, a lot of those games have very simple premises of it's your character versus this character. You just go through a bunch of levels.
Well,
and then you beat them at the end.
Right. Well, that's the thing, right? It's like those games aren't narrative driven.
No.
It's like, hey, get to the end, get to the end, get to the castle, find the princess. Oh, the princess isn't in this castle.
Keep going.
Go to the next world.
Yep.
Sonic, get to the end of the level. Maybe you fight Robotnik.
Yeah.
And then you beat the whole game, and then you finally beat Robotnik.
And then you go Super Saiyan.
Well, also simpler games are easier to make in movies. You're just taking aspects from the game, making it, putting a little bit of plot and creating an original story maybe or whatever, and maybe embellishing here and there, putting some details, and then you're good, and it's good to go. I think that's why, like you said, Sonic, Mario. There was another one. It's in development. I think they have a director already. That was one I was looking at the other day because I was like, hey, let's see what games have been made that I have never seen before. And they're starting to work on a Legend of Zelda game.
That's right.
That one
movie.
Yeah, movie.
Well,
I'm sorry.
That one's
movie.
gonna be live action.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like so, but something like that, a little more involved, a little more. It's like, oh man, how is it?
Yeah, Legend of Zelda has more story than
Yeah, but I'm just saying back then I was thinking about like just a simpler game as far as, but Legend of Zelda has games that have gotten harder and has more details.
That movie has all of the will to be really bad.
Yeah, I know.
Like, I think that movie, if not done right,
it's gonna be yeah.
Because the whole point of like Legend of Zelda is you go and you explore dungeons and you have to figure them out and there's puzzles and stuff like that. I don't know how you would translate that.
Yeah, in a movie,
in like a movie without it being kind of boring.
Yeah.
Going
back to the part of what you were talking about on Uncharted, right? Or like the adventuring part of that. It's just like nobody wants to see that in theaters, right? Nobody wants a long drawn out movie. They want, plot, story, action.
Yeah, it has to be well paced.
Yeah.
And like you go at like say for that Zelda movie they adapt like Breath of the Wild, unless you're at like the dungeons, like for like where the actual like bosses are, like a lot of that game is a lot of just exploring.
Yeah.
And that's an experience. I don't think an experience like that translates well to a movie.
Yeah.
I don't
Oh,
even think that,
I don't think
an
it's
experience
going
like that
to.
even
I
translates.
think they're going to go the whole fantasy route, like how they tried to go with. Well, I think I was talking to Vic about this. Final Fantasy. They made Final Fantasy back in 2007, 2008. Final Fantasy Spirits Within. You know, I might have it here. Don't know. I think I do. I'll take a picture because it was a really bad Final Fantasy Spirits Within. Yeah, I did have it. 2001.
I don't know how to read.
My bad. 2001. It was going to be amazing. We thought it was going to be amazing. They released a trailer back then, and it was like, oh, okay, cool. And it was a horrible movie. Had nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
No.
You know, I mean, well, it had
Elements.
names and things from Final Fantasy, but the story was crap. I'm just worried that something like Zelda or any kind of like fantasy-driven game, when you come to make it a movie, it's just going to be the same thing, that same kind of like, oh, look, it's, you know, Link and Zelda off on a mission together or something, and Zelda gets captured and, or, you know, abducted or something, and Link has to go and, you know, save her, and he's going to run into some bad guys, and it's just going to be your normal fantasy mythical movie, kind of like.
Well, because that's the thing, right? It's like they have two options of what they could do, right? They could either adapt a game, which like they could do Ocarina of Time or Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
They'd probably have to do Ocarina of Time.
Ocarina of Time.
Or like Twilight Princess or something like that. Or they would just do something completely
original. Yeah.
Which
in that world.
Which they can also do that.
Yeah.
Love to see that.
I think that would be better.
I would love to.
I would honestly think that would be better.
Well, I think that's better in the sense of like the expectations would probably be low. Because because inherently whenever you do like an adaptation, people are always going to compare it to the original thing.
Yeah.
So if it's not as good as the original thing, people are going to be like, well, this was trash. Regardless if it's actually bad or not.
If it's a really good movie or not.
They're always going to compare it to the thing.
Look at have y'all seen Monster Hunter?
The live action?
Yeah, with Mila Jovovich.
I've seen like the trailer and like bits and pieces of the movie.
The action, the monsters looked wonderful. Did not care for a Monster Hunter movie because it was a Monster Hunter.
It was a Monster Hunter, right?
You know,
because it was like a weird like isekai thing, right? They get teleported to like the world of Monster Hunter.
If I think yeah.
Oh, like Jumanji style.
Sort of, but not really. It's more like you're in a. You know what? Now I might have to go watch it again just to check. Maybe I'm mixing it up with another movie.
In the movie, they had like guns.
Yeah,
I mean, there's guns in Monster Hunter, right?
Yeah, they get sort of teleported. Yeah, it's military people. They get teleported, sort of, or not teleported, like kind of they're shoved into that world. I got to go watch it again, but yeah, it's a really dumb premise. I remember it being a really dumb premise. Playing Monster Hunter was just like, wow, this is not
Where are
Monster
the flips?
Hunter.
Where's the giant hammer?
They had monsters. There were no hunters. So I don't know
that's
what.
That's the other half.
Yeah, that's the other half of the, you know. What do you think about like animated movies being made from video game movies?
So like a video game that's turned into like an animated movie?
Yeah, so like what do I have?
So like Mario or like the Ratchet and Clank.
Oh, well, there's like the Ratchet and Clank movie. Yeah. Because Mario, I mean, that's a little bit not necessarily, but yeah, just straight up animated or kind of sort of animated.
Straight up animated.
Yeah, well, because see, like I was looking on here I was marking down. I don't think I have any animated. I did put the Ratchet and Clank movie. That one was a good one.
I've never seen it.
It was okay. It was for liking the. Have you ever played Ratchet and Clank the game? Yeah. You might like the movie.
It was decent.
You know why also though? Because they can do the same sort of CGI. They can do the same because it's not, you know, you're not live actioning a game where you're gonna have these expectations of like, hey, why aren't the colors the same? Why isn't the world the same? Why isn't, you know, there's certain I know there's only certain things that you can do with it. So, or like the Angry Birds movie. You know, that's like, to me that's like the Mario movie, right? I mean, what do you do in Angry Birds? You knock buildings down.
Just throw birds at pigs.
You don't do anything.
Well, I think the whole premise of that movie is like obviously you have the red bird. And he's like super angry.
Yeah.
Spoilers. there's an angry bird in the Angry Birds movie. But like the whole thing is like the pigs, like they come in and they're trying to like pretend to be really nice, but towards the end of the movie, it's like, oh, they're actually here to like take over the town.
Yeah.
And then that's when they have to like actually do the slingshots and stuff. And
that's
destroy the pigs
great.
Essentially. Yeah, it's a very dumb premise of the movie. And
great.
That movie had a sequel, which is the crazy thing.
See, you mentioned Arcane, right? So Castlevania, that one was a good series.
Castlevania is so good.
It was a good series.
Good series.
And I mean, it was animated again, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, they could do more with it. I think that goes back to what Ruben was saying. Them not being able to do enough with a movie with a like turning a video game into a live action movie. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough. Sometimes you don't have the necessary graphics, right? Just to make it look like the world or look like it's going to be, that game or whatever. But when you're animating a movie, you have more liberties. You have, you can turn it into, pretty much whatever you want. And so I think that's why a lot of animated shows do a lot better. Like you said, Arcane. I know you said one. I wrote it down here because I wanted to watch it, but I haven't seen it. Cyberpunk. Have you seen that one?
It was Edge Runners.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned it, but I had never.
I never.
Oh, yeah. Okay. I haven't seen it either. I was just.
That was one of the things I was supposed to watch before,
it's
like doing
really
this.
good.
Oh.
It's really good. It does happen before the game actually happens.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
It's like a prequel.
I'm like 90% sure, but didn't it get like Anime of the Year or something?
Yeah, I think.
It was one of the nominees, I think.
It's a beautiful.
Yeah,
story.
apparently it's really good.
It's really good.
I also wrote down Sonic Prime. I haven't seen that one either. That's animated, right?
Sonic
It's
Prime.
like I think it's like a Netflix show.
The Netflix show. Okay. Yeah.
Apparently it's like
Those were the two animated that I hadn't seen, so I was like, okay, I'm gonna check them out.
To
See
be
if
fair,
y'all
there's
have
like
any.
3 or 4 Sonic shows.
Yeah, there's a couple
There's
different.
Sonic Prime, Sonic Boom, Sonic X.
Sonic. I've seen Sonic
Yeah.
X.
Sonic X is awesome.
Sonic X is great.
What's that other one? The original animated Sonic.
Oh, something underground.
Yeah, Sonic Underground.
Sonic Underground.
And then obviously you have like
Of course, yeah.
the
I
Knuckles.
said-
The Knuckles.
The Knuckles show. That
Knuckles
one,
and I
I've seen
don't
one
chuckle.
episode of that one. It's a good show.
Yeah, like I said,
pretty
when the point of the game is like not narrative driven, yeah, I think you can make a movie out of that. It's
Yeah,
when
you can do a lot of stuff. With that.
yeah, but when it's like a narrative driven game, again, like The Last of Us,
Mhm.
that's when I think a show is more beneficial, because for the most part, the Uncharted, I got Uncharted on the brain, I swear. But The Last of Us show pretty much does the plot of the game.
Yeah.
It's
Obviously,
pretty
they
good.
take some like creative liberties at certain points, like they basically change the entirety of like the Bill character and like his backstory.
Yeah.
Because there's
Yeah.
there's like an entire episode dedicated to Bill.
Yeah.
And they changed it, and like whether or not you like that or not,
I was okay with it.
I actually was.
Yeah.
I actually thought
That was one of my favorite episodes.
because it humanizes
yeah.
like not even just like the characters, but just like the idea of living in that like
that world. Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, it's like things are so bad, but like not everything's bad. You can find like I guess the love and the it's not really mundane, but like you get what I'm trying to say, right?
Yeah, I get it.
It's like
The silver linings.
the silver linings of like stuff that are like bad.
Yeah.
You know, and then spoilers, Bill and his significant, I forget the name of the significant other, but they ended up dying like together. And, and it shows you like, hey, things are bad, they can get better, and then you can end things on your own terms. And granted, again, they both die, but they die on like their terms.
Yeah.
Right.
And there's something really kind of beautiful about that. But then like after that, the show pretty much goes on how it does in the games.
Yeah.
Which again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Obviously, the game's good. The show is good.
Yeah.
Like so, clearly, there's nothing wrong with doing like a 1-to-1 thing. But then you look at something like the Fallout show, and I've never played a Fallout game.
No.
I think I played like a little bit of 3, but I've never played 1 before.
Okay.
So like going into that Fallout show, I didn't know anything.
Sure.
Like I didn't know anything about the world or anything.
Sure.
Other than like Nuka Cola, that was the only thing I knew, and that's like and the little thing.
Yeah.
Whatever the thing's called. I had no idea what was going on, but that first episode, it hooks you in to like how the world is.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, you actually see the nukes being dropped,
Yeah.
and like the world kind of like having to deal with that.
You're seeing why it happened or you're saying how it happened.
Basically how it happened, and then you see how people who live in the vault dwellers,
Mhm.
how they live,
Yeah.
and how they can kind of be a little too trusting and like also not too trusting. And then you see the character Lucy kind of being like that kind of like bridge of like, hey, we should go outside and like try to like figure things out.
Yeah.
And then obviously she does. And
Yeah.
It does a really good job of like, I haven't finished it yet.
It's been so long since I played an actual Fallout game.
Mhm.
Does the show actually? Because I know it takes elements from the games, obviously, right?
Yeah.
But it's great because it feels like it's not part of like any of the other games, like any of the narratives for the other ones. Like it does the perfect thing of this is one of the vault dwellers in like a part of the world but it's not part of the games. If you understand what I mean.
Yeah, it's that they're taking the world and they're making a movie in that world.
Right. Yeah. Like it isn't like oh yes, we're taking parts of like Fallout 2 and Fallout 3, right? And then kind of just like putting those stories together. No, it's like no, this is the story of Lucy in the world. Like you kind of understand what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I'm saying that, I think that's why it made it good.
Yeah, I really liked that about that.
The it being in the Fallout world, Fallout 4, one of my favorite games of all time. It's showing the difference between the Fallout, the people who were actually in the shelters, the people who stayed outside, and the people who were in the military, showing the brotherhood and all of that kind of aspect of it, and the way they did the suits and the way they did everything really, really well.
Yeah,
I mean, props to the what is it called? The company that made the movie, I can't remember which was who made the movie. Amazon. Thank you very much. I don't know why I was like Amazon was stuck in my head.
Jeff Bezos.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Bezos.
Yeah, I'm Jeff Bezos. So, anyways, no, yeah. Props to Amazon for doing something well.
Yeah.
And taking the time to at least having the right people on it because the movie came out well.
Yeah.
Came out good.
The
show. I said movie like twice. The show.
Well, because another thing like these adaptations kind of have to do, especially like when you're like a show, or even if you're a movie, you have to be like nuanced enough to where people like me who have never played a game can easily understand it, while also satisfying the people who have played the games, who maybe want Easter eggs and stuff like that.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like you have to have like the balance, of like people, the hardcore fans and the casuals who don't know anything and they just want to watch the show.
Yeah.
And I think again, going back to The Last of Us, I think The Last of Us does a really good job of that. That first episode, it's like, hey, this is what's going on in the world. Like and then there's like the rumblings of like the virus and stuff.
Yeah.
And that first episode captures everything that happens up until that point. And then later on, I think it's in I forget what episode it is, but they explain the origins of the virus, which they really don't do a whole lot of that in the game.
No.
Or when they do, it's like it's very quick. It's like you might have to read like a letter,
like a mention.
Yeah, it's like a mention.
Yeah.
And like you kind of have to piece that together. Whereas like in the show, they kind of just like, hey, here you go, on like a silver platter. This is what happened. This is why it's happening. And like this is the origins of where it is. Granted, again, they changed some things. It's not like a one-to-one thing.
I actually really liked how they did it in the show.
Well, yeah, because like in the games, it's like spores like in the air.
Yeah.
And like you can't breathe the air, whereas like in the show, it's like this thing that you actually have to transmit to somebody else.
Yeah. Well, it wasn't it like the flower? Or am I misremembering that?
Was it the flower?
Was it?
I think it was a flower.
No, because it was in the flour, and then they used that flour to make like bread, which was then
Oh yeah,
it's something
like that, right?
Yeah, because
that's how it started.
It's been a while since I've seen the show, so
yeah, I'm gonna be real honest. I saw it when it came out, and that's about it. I'll probably rewatch it because season 2 is coming out sometime next year, which I'm very excited.
Yeah.
Yep. Same.
I just wish they would make a third game, but again, that's going off topic. I can talk about them making a third game, and like that could be like its own episode.
Yeah.
But like why they won't do it?
Why no sequel?
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. Like I said, if it's a narrative-driven game, I think doing a TV show is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But like you can do the movies and like stuff like that, and it could be really good. It just
depends on the game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just because like some games are going to be a little bit more convoluted than others, and some like Mario is you run and jump. You can't make a movie about just running and jumping. Like you have to have like some other types of elements.
Yeah.
Like
or at least the very basic story of princess captured, go rescue her.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Well, like I said earlier, I mentioned Need for Speed. It's cars and people driving.
Yeah. You're
not going to mess up that. I mean, like,
no.
What do you do in the game? You drive cars.
So it's Fast and the Furious?
Yeah, pretty much.
Fast and the Furious.
Yeah, it's Fast and Furious. But
speaking of that, okay, so that kind of brought out another. I was thinking about the other day while I was coming up with trying to make this list, and me and Ruben were talking. And I was like, man, I wondered. I always come back to talking about and arguing about this. StarCraft, right? They never actually made a StarCraft movie, but if you look at Starship Troopers,
yeah,
It's basically StarCraft.
Yeah.
You know, you have the Space Marines, you have the Zerg, you have, you know, and they no one can tell me that the Zerg are not those aliens, and the aliens, they didn't base them off of StarCraft Zerg aliens because they look exactly the same.
Yep.
You know, the way they act, the way they spit poison, the way they do, you know, and it was just like, man, we always used to joke about it. It's like they couldn't buy the rights from Blizzard, right?
Yeah.
So here's hoping that maybe in the future they make a StarCraft movie. That would be amazing.
It's hilarious too, because I heard somewhere, I don't remember where, but StarCraft was almost Warhammer.
Almost.
But then Games Workshop was like, we don't want to do it, and so then Blizzard bought it and made it its own thing. Yeah,
turned it into its own thing, and because they already had Warcraft.
Yeah.
So it was like, well, it wasn't named StarCraft at the time. They named it StarCraft because it was Warcraft. It was like, hey, we're in space. What should we name it? StarCraft, because we already have Warcraft. It's like, oh, real original, Blizzard.
Hey, it worked.
No, it worked. It worked. You know, whatever.
I mean, if you had to rename it, what would you rename it to?
Yeah, I get it.
Warhammer.
Don't get me wrong. One of my favorite games.
I call it Warhammer.
Warhammer. Ha ha ha. That's funny. Speaking of Warcraft, they made a Warcraft movie. You ever see the Warcraft movie?
I have.
It was. I like Travis Fimmel, the main actor.
It was something.
Okay.
It was something.
They did the orcs, like the makeup and the outfits.
Oh.
They
looked
good.
Great.
But the story could have been a whole lot better. Yeah. So yeah, that's I don't know. That's I have problems with some of them. Some of them are okay. Some of them are kind of like not.
If you I don't, a lot of the bad ones. If I just take away the title of it and it's like it's its own thing, I feel like I start liking them a little bit better, because it's like, well, you know, if I stop thinking of them as the IP that they're trying to be, then it's a decent fantasy story.
It's funny that you mentioned that, because as soon as you started saying that, I was thinking of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Because watching Michael Fassbender in the movie, it was good as a movie. But it wasn't a good Assassin's Creed movie.
Right. It's back to how you were doing, what you were saying with Uncharted. It's, you know.
Yeah. That's where I always come back to. It's like, I don't know. And
again, that's not to say there's not good video game movies.
No.
No,
there's
it's not like we're like crapping on all these movies.
No, there
or
are
TV shows or whatever. The Witcher. I like the Witcher series.
Witcher is pretty good.
I like the Witcher TV series. Oh, okay.
You ever seen it?
You ever play the game?
Yeah, I played the game.
It's not. It's similar in very small ways, but
here's the thing: I haven't seen the show, and then I think I don't want to see even more because Henry Cavill's not in it anymore.
Yeah. Now that they're actually replacing him, I'm not watching it anymore. It's just, what's his name?
It's
Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah, Liam Hemsworth.
Yeah,
which is not his fault.
Does not look good as Gerard.
We are not blaming the actor.
No.
That's 100% on the.
That's the showrunners.
Yeah, it's like you could have. I don't know. Bad. You could have just stopped the show. Just leave it alone. It was good.
And like
that was it.
Like going off topic real quick. Henry Cavill always gets like the short end of these sticks.
Yeah.
Like, he got like screwed over.
He gets the perfect role, and then he
he got screwed. He's getting screwed over with Gerald. Like it's like he gets all the roles that people want him in, and then something happens and he just doesn't do them anymore.
Yeah,
and it's so sad.
It's funny that he said Gerald. I said Gerard.
Gerard.
Did you catch that?
Okay.
I said Gerard.
I wasn't going to say anything.
You should have said something.
No, it's hilarious.
I didn't catch it until he said Gerald.
Well, because that's his name, right?
Yes.
Gerald.
Yeah, no. You're right. I'm wrong.
He said Gerard.
I said Gerard.
Okay, I was just making sure because even like after I said it, I was like, I hope I think that's.
No, you got it. You got it.
Yeah. Whoever's watching out there, yeah. You can crap all over me. Sorry, my bad. Bad use of words. Never mind. Trying to think of what else. That's pretty much all that I had written. Now that's all I've seen. I can't speak on anything else because some cartoon stuff. I mean, Where on the World is Carmen Sandiego. It was a game. It was a Nintendo game before.
A game.
You know, and then kind of certain little things like that. But
I think I played a PC game.
Devil May Cry, the animated series. That one was okay.
That one was really good. That's pretty good. It was pretty good.
But other than that, I haven't seen too much else.
Well, have you seen? Again, this is technically a video game movie, but it's like it's not, but it is. But like it's loosely based on a series. But it was Detective Pikachu.
Oh yeah.
It's like technically there's the Detective Pikachu games, but it's not really based on the game.
Yeah, it's
But it's like
Pokemon.
It's
Yeah,
Pokemon,
Based in the
but
world.
It's based in the world, but like it's not based on like any. Because like I don't even think like the region that the guy is in is like
an actual,
is
like
I think it's a region, but it's like not in any of the games or anything like that. Because there are certain regions that have like spin-off games that like they don't really get mentioned
Sure.
in like the regular mainline continuity games. But like that's an example of like
Well,
one that's like it's technically based off something, but it's not.
yeah. Well, I think the Detective Pikachu did the smart thing of doing that instead of going by like what the story for the Pokemon games, because Pokemon is one of those that probably do better as a series rather than a movie.
100%. That's I
know there's a Pokemon anime, but I mean like
No, yeah, I don't know if this we want to get into this yet, but like
on the actual story.
I would love to talk about stuff that I'd like to see as a movie adaptation. Before we go there or whatever, is there? I think I asked this earlier, but like, what is there any one that actually stood out to you or like your favorite, or are they just all kind of just made sort of okay?
Well, like I said, The
Last of Us.
Last of Us.
Oh, that's why you went into.
I think I haven't
okay.
finished it, but again, like the Fallout.
Oh,
Fallout was
okay.
good. Sonic.
Gotcha,
Like I said,
gotcha.
there's good ones, and I think we've been on the uptick of like good adaptations.
Yes, yes.
Because again, there was a period of time where like everything was just trash.
Yeah.
It seemed like people couldn't do a good adaptation to like save their lives.
Yeah.
But I would say actually starting with the Sonic movie is when we actually started getting some good stuff.
Yeah.
And then like granted again there's some hiccups in there like I said the Halo TV show there's hiccups and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah,
It's like not everything's good.
But I mean,
and
like that's
but if you're batting like 80%, like that's still pretty good.
That's pretty good.
Well, I mean, granted, like I said, I like the Halo TV show, but if they had changed some things in there, it would be better. I agree.
Oh, have you ever seen that Mega Man anime?
The animated show, Mega Man,
No. It's based on
not an anime, no.
based on the what are the games called? It's the not the one that you have there, not that one.
That's the only Mega Man I've ever.
There was another older this is when I say older, I mean like maybe early 2000s Mega Man Battle Network. Have you ever seen that one?
No, I did not see Battle Network.
I remember watching because I had the games. I think I had the Mega Man Leo Battle Network.
Yeah, I think it's one of them. I don't know.
I thought it was.
I don't know. Those Battle Network games are like Pokemon. They made two versions of each one.
No, they made 3 versions.
Yeah, but there's like
each
different
one?
games. Like because like there was like an orange and a purple one, and then after that they made a sequel, but then, like they had different colors. Like it's like
Well,
like I said, it's basically like Pokemon.
the reason there's 3 is because the premise of the game is there's the regular world, and then there's like the battle, like the digital world, and like there's like a bunch of AIs going through there, and like in charge of everything is like 3 satellites, and like basically everything in technology technically has a conscience in some weird way, and then like this virus is like running away from like its home planet. It's like an alien, but it's an AI, lands on Earth and fuses with the main character. It's a wild premise. I thought it was cool when I was a kid.
Yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah,
it was very interesting, and I don't know what came first. I'm pretty sure the anime came next, but that technically counts as an adaptation of a video game.
yes,
You should watch it. It's great. It's dumb. It's great. I haven't watched it in a while though. So
I don't know. I'll look it up.
yeah.
Sure.
Yeah, sorry. I was really excited because I saw the Mega Man name and I'm like, wait, wasn't there another one?
I only
And I
watched Mega
forgot
Man.
about it.
I only watched Mega Man because my son, Bash, the youngest one, we watched that one. Speaking of Skylanders, that's why I had it written
I
down.
saw that one there too.
Is this
You know-
Skylander show?
Yeah,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
you can't get it wrong. It looks like the game. It's like
it's one of
it's
those.
in the world.
Yeah,
It's-
I can't.
it's
I can't
exactly-
even fault you for that because like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's a Pac-Man show.
There's a Pac-Man.
There is.
I have that one down. I've seen that one too.
Have you seen? Wait, does Pixels count?
Pixels?
No, because that's
No, that's not.
that's
That's
more like-
technically after a game. That's a video game movie.
that's like saying does Wreck-It Ralph count?
Yes, totally
It's
doesn't
like there's
count.
video games in that movie, but it's not about a video game.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's not from a video game world.
Fair enough.
Okay.
Well, fair enough.
So,
Okay, sure.
yeah, I don't
sure.
know. But yeah, I don't. Another thing that you and me talked about was like Well, like I said earlier, I don't know why I keep coming back to this. I would love to see a Pokemon TV series live action.
Well, I think that's actually in the works.
Oh, really?
I think Netflix is doing it.
Action.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay.
Ooh.
Well, like you said, I think stuff has gotten better through the years, and I don't know if that's an issue of like people just caring more, CGI being or graphics being able to be done better, or a combination of the two. But it does seem to like maybe I don't know. The past couple of years, it's like more people are. You know, because games are like a more in thing now than they were quite a few years ago. Just like anime, just like, you know, there's certain things that a couple of years ago and for the past like 20 years, it was all like, you know, the mainstream doesn't really get into that. But in the past couple of years, all those things have like really come to the forefront of entertainment. And I don't know if that's something because of the internet, because of YouTubers, because of influencers or whatever it is, but more people are watching it. More people are going to see movies like that and watch shows like that. And,
well, probably because a lot of people that were growing up with that
are
stuff
now
are
the
now
age.
getting,
Yeah.
are now
So,
kind of
and that's their
being in charge
target
of that.
audience, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I hope they keep going. I hope if the Pokemon is getting made by Netflix, that should be that would be freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm like 90% sure it's Netflix doing it because right now Netflix has the rights to air the current seasons of the anime.
Oh,
Like
okay.
they have the exclusive rights to do.
Is that new or is that they've had that?
They've had that I think since.
Oh yeah, because I think Indigo League is on Netflix.
Yeah, but that's always.
Oh,
To be fair, they only have it up until like a certain episode.
Oh.
After that, you gotta. I don't even know where you can find. But I think they started doing that since Sword and Shield. I think it was Pokemon Horizon. No, Horizons is a new one. Pokemon Journeys. That's what it was called. But I don't know. It's weird because like they had the rights to do it, but now the Journeys, Masters Journeys, and the other Journeys, I forget what it's called. Those are actually being taken away from Netflix.
Huh.
So like you actually can't watch those after a certain point. I think that they might have already been taken down.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, but
To be fair, because like they also had Pokemon TV, which was like a way of like airing the Pokemon stuff, but they
Pokemon.
took that down. So it's like now like, and they actually made a list when Pokemon TV left. They're like, hey, these are all the services where you could watch specific seasons of Pokemon, and it was like, yeah, you could watch like I think it was like X and Y, or it was like Black and White through X and Y. You can watch it on Hulu, but if you wanted to watch the Hoenn series, you had to go to like Amazon Prime, and then if you wanted to watch like because the Pokemon series are like all over the place. You cannot find them in one singular place, which is why I think if Pokemon just made a streaming service and you make it like dirt cheap, like $2.99, $3.99, I'd pay up to $5. I'd pay up to $5 for that.
They used to be all on. If I remember correctly, years and years ago, they used to be all on Amazon. Because I remember scrolling through and it would be like, okay, season 1, season 2, season 3, season 4, like each one was on there. And then after, maybe it was Netflix or maybe, you know, whichever company bought more rights to it or, you know, to show it or whatever, they started slowly going out. Now I started to notice what you were talking about, like, oh, it's only up to a certain episode, or, well, I can't watch this here, so I got to go watch it somewhere else and then go watch this somewhere else and go, you know. But, yeah, that's, I don't know. That was the one that I'd like to see. Are there any that y'all like to see?
Yeah, that was actually the topic I was gonna bring up. I was like, is there any adaptations that you guys want that hasn't been done yet? Because
Like for a movie?
no, it's a TV show. It doesn't matter. Because like one of the ones that I was really mad about that Nintendo was gonna do, but then it got leaked that they were gonna do it, and then they decided not to do it, was Star Fox. They were supposed to make a Star Fox movie, but before
Live action?
I think it was gonna
Or
be
sort of
I
like
think it was gonna be an
animated?
movie. But I think it got leaked that they were planning on doing it, and then they basically said we're not doing it anymore because people leaked it, and I'm still mad about it to this day because I would
That's kinda
love
weird.
to see a Star Fox movie. I love Star Fox. That's like the one thing I think I would want, besides maybe like an Uncharted series, like an actually like good one. Like
Yeah.
Just do Uncharted. Like I said, you could do whatever game you want, or you could do it like its own thing, but just like do it well. I also think they could be like they could do a pretty decent like animated Kirby movie. That could be kind of cute.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But like I don't know, it's so weird because like Nintendo's popular, but like only like certain characters are like super popular. Like Mario's like obviously they're big, they're they're bread and butter, right? That's like the thing. That and like Pokemon, but Pokemon's like its own separate thing. Because like I said, they're doing the Legend of Zelda, but like the Legend of Zelda compared to like Mario, in terms of like they're both recognizable, but like one's more recognizable than the other. So like this new Legend of Zelda movie, I don't think it's gonna do Mario movie numbers, I think it'll do decent. Like I said, as long as it's good.
Yeah.
Is there an Alan Wake TV show?
I don't know. There might be.
Because I
don't know.
I would love an Alan Wake show.
That might be cool. I mean, I think it could be done in a show.
Because I was like, I like the game Control.
Mm-hmm.
Control's pretty good.
That's a good game.
Control's pretty good. Like I would like. It doesn't have to be like the story of Control. Because the story of Control is a little, it's a little weird.
Okay.
Right? It's like, if you were to take away the back and forth of it, it'd be a pretty short game. But I love the premise of Control, of like very SCP, like there's this bureau that's hidden from the world that kind of captures and controls these objects that have weird powers, and they're kind of just researching them. I don't know. Maybe I just want an SCP TV show.
Maybe.
I love SCP. It's great.
That's why.
But I said Alan Wake because canonically Alan Wake is part of the Control universe.
Okay.
Yeah, like it's like there's a whole DLC of like the typewriter that Alan Wake uses is technically one of those like objects of power that they have. And that's how everything he types becomes real in the world. Have you ever played Alan Wake?
Okay. No.
No. So the whole premise is this guy named Alan Wake is a very famous like horror writer.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of going on vacation to this like this sleepy town in like the woods or whatever, and he takes his wife. Goes there. For anybody who hasn't played Alan Wake, by the way, this is spoilers, but it's been like years since the game's out, so I don't care. Goes to this town, and it's just basically like, okay, you know what? I'm here to relax. I'm not here to work or whatever, right? And they settle down, and on the first night some like weird stuff is happening, or they meet like he specifically meets in the town like somebody that's like off. Like it's like, oh, that's a little weird, right? Goes back home, finds like the typewriter, like an old typewriter in like the home that they're kind of just staying at temporarily. And like he's like, okay, well, this is kind of old, but I guess I'll use it, just free typing or whatever. And so he's typing, and then he doesn't realize that everything he types starts becoming real, but he doesn't remember what he's writing. So when he hears like his wife like scream like in the house, he like leaves. It's a bunch of weird. It's a very psychological like game, because during the game you start hearing Alan like himself. He starts hearing his voice telling a story, and you don't know what he's typing because he doesn't remember what he wrote down, but it's going as he's typing. It's like a horror game. Okay. It's like a psychological horror, and like the whole thing is just him trying to solve what he's wrote that's coming to life in this town. But it's like one of those like, is it real? Is it not? Is he having like a break, like a psychological break, or is it actually happening? It's a very interesting story, and I would love to see a show of nothing but those elements.
That's cool. All right.
What about you, John? You have anything?
Not really. Most of the stuff it's already been made. I wish I could see a redone Tron movie. I really love Tron, and the movie was okay. Sure. But it felt like one of those movies where it was just like, okay, we're just gonna put things in there from the game, and
like a cash grab.
Yeah, not really. I don't really think they did Tron for a cash grab. I don't say crash grab. I think it was more along the lines of like, hey, this is a cool concept, and it's a like niche, kind of unique kind of game, whatever.
Sure.
We can do some cool things with the lights and the suits and the motorcycles and everything.
Oh, like a spectacle.
Yeah, but the way it was done in the story, I think the story could have been done better, and I would love to see like just people in the Tron world like doing the things that you do with Tron. You compete against each other and this kind of things, and seeing the pitfalls, like if you lose, you get these certain consequences. If you win, you get these certain consequences. I thought the movie originally was going to be like something like that, and it turned out to be just this whole kind of it's been years since I've seen it, but I just remember it not being a good experience. And I was like, I'd like to see the movie redone like that. I love sci-fi and fantasy kind of stuff. Most of the stuff that I would say, hey, it'd be cool to do, it's either already been done, or I don't think that they would do a good enough job at it. Like, I would love to see an actual live action Final Fantasy movie, but I don't think they would ever be able to do it right. It was just, it would be like, okay, well, how are they going to mess it up now? How are they going to, yeah.
Well, Final Fantasy is one of those that you kind of have to make a series out of.
Well, true, because there's just too much to it. Yeah, I agree with that.
Like how we said earlier, it's like a lot of story-driven games have to be series just to let them breathe.
Yeah.
Yeah, because how are you going to translate 50 hours of grinding?
Yeah.
Well, of course, all the.
How are you gonna fit fighting a giant turtle to get 20,000 XP?
Yep, I get you.
You just can't.
No, I think movies when they're done, they should be, if you're gonna grab something from a movie, it should be something like a movies or series. It should be something like an Assassin's Creed, like a Uncharted, like a the Witcher series, or something, or Devil May Cry series. Imagine that, like a live action Devil May Cry.
Oh,
so
who would play as Dante?
Right now, with these actors out now, I don't know. Like, that's,
I don't know. They'd probably like cast Timothy Chalamet.
Gross. Not to crap on Timothy Chalamet.
You heard it first. John from Staying on Topic does not like Timothy
Chalamet.
I just didn't like him in Willy Wonka. Okay, sorry, my bad.
Actually, it's just Wonka.
Wonka, whatever you want to call it.
Did you also not like him in Dune? Is that what I'm hearing?
No, Dune was great.
Okay,
Dune was amazing. Okay,
it's just Wonka then.
Yeah. See, if you could make a video game into a movie and turn it into something like Dune, how Dune production value, I'm happy. Do whatever you want. But until then, stop making video game movies.
We need hologram technology.
No, we just need people to give a crap about the story. The graphics are already there.
Yeah,
graphics are there. Makeup artists, they're already there. Music is already there.
Technology is there.
Technology is there. We just need people to have a half. I don't want to say half. We need people to have a decent story written down. Right, and I think that would make all the difference. A lot of my hate from adaptations, I'm not going to get into it right now, but I'm just touching very slightly. A lot of the hate from my adaptations when things are made into movies come from books. Whole different topic, but I think that I have the same biases when it comes from video games as well. It's a holdover, right? Like, man, you didn't make it like the video game. Why even make it at all? So that's where I'm at with like pretty much all adaptations, unless they're really
well. There's a lot more adaptations from books to movies.
Of course, that's why I said that's what I said. That can be a whole nother episode. We can get into that later. I mean, but I don't know what. I think
that'd be even more harder for me. So me have to read and watch a movie.
Well,
not even just that, but I mean like just like I said, barely touching on it. Me and my wife were doing that the other day, like kind of. It's like, oh, hey, well, there's not that many adaptations from books, and it's like
Jurassic Park.
No, I know. We're not gonna get. But I'm just saying, like after like 200 movies that we listed, it was like, oh god, never mind. Let's just let's just talk about video games right now. So yeah,
I say books have been around longer than video games, so of course there's gonna.
Well, yeah, and people are very unimaginative, so that they got to take their movie ideas from somewhere, and now they just, like I said, I think what you were saying earlier is just as movies have gone on, I don't know, when more thought process is put into it, I think it's a better movie. I mean, like I said, so I keep coming back to the one with how you brought up Far Cry, right?
Yeah.
It was just like, and it was like in 2008. I mean, so not that old, but
which Far Cry
it's an 18-year-old movie. Sorry, it wasn't a Far Cry, like about Far Cry 1, 2, whatever. It was just set in the Far Cry world, and the actor was...
That could be anything.
Yeah, I know.
That could be anything. Did they have like video game animations in there?
No.
Did he have to heal himself?
Okay, imagine you watch like a cheesy 80s action movie.
Yeah. Why'd they have to call it Far Cry?
That's basically what it was. So, I just... That's what I'm saying.
Far Cry has great storytelling.
Did y'all like Rampage?
I haven't seen it.
With The Rock?
No, I know of it.
No, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it.
Nothing to. The only thing it had to do with the movie is there's a big gorilla. There's a big
but
crocodile.
Rampage as a game isn't like something.
I know. It's just them knocking down buildings. I get it. That's why I'm saying take liberties all you want and make the movie, however you want.
You know?
Rampage as a movie, it was a good movie.
Well, I made the most out of everybody on this list. Oh, except for Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, Detective Pikachu did really well.
Yeah, it's Pokemon.
Yeah, it's Pokemon. Yeah.
Yeah, but it was close.
No, Super Mario either. Super Mario made 1.4 billion.
Oh yeah, I'm not looking at the B's and M's.
Yeah.
Let me see that list real quick.
Yeah.
Wait. Did you mean to put billion?
No, it's on the other. Maybe might be on Super Mario.
Well, this is box office earnings.
Yeah, Super Mario Brothers movie, right? It's somewhere here. It's 1 point whatever billion, or 1.3 billion. The Super Mario Brothers movie with Chris Pratt.
Oh,
1.3
I'm looking
billion.
at the wrong one. I'm looking at the first one.
Oh yeah, no, the
I'm
first
like,
one. No,
never mind. Never mind.
no, the first one was
That's the list.
Yeah. But yeah, I don't know. I just think that they need to put more thought process into it. Like I said, that was just stuff I had seen.
Yeah. Well, again, it also depends on the game.
Sure.
Story-driven games, like I said earlier, story-driven games need more time to breathe to tell the story. So series are probably a lot better.
Yeah.
To use as a medium rather than movies, because the movies you gotta have to cut out a lot just to make room.
Yeah.
In
trying to find out this list, or like just looking up stuff and making a list of things, I kept running across, like, I would name a movie and then I'd be like, wait a minute, that didn't come from a movie. That didn't come from a video game. That was made into a video game.
Mm-hmm.
And that list is just as bad as movies made from books.
Yeah.
It's like, my God, they've made a video game for pretty much every movie ever made.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I didn't realize it. I didn't realize it until I was going through, and it was just like, wow,
There's a lot of
Yeah.
A lot of those.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
That's adaptations on the whole.
And not even that. There's also spin-offs and knockoffs of versions of those games that are even worse than the games.
What do you mean,
like Jungle Book came out. They made a game.
Yeah.
Obviously, right?
Yeah.
Game was okay.
It was kind of correct. Yeah.
And then of course there are people that want to pirate the game, or want to copy the game. Like video game developers have been like, that's a good concept. Let's just
go make something that's not
and call it something else and change the sprites.
And that's how you have a bunch of different video games.
There's Jungle Book the game, and then there's Book Jungle, and then there's King of the Jungle. It's like,
yeah, I get you. It's because nobody has original ideas anymore. I mean, that's what it all comes down to.
That's a different topic.
Yeah, I know.
It's hilarious.
But I get it.
It's just hilarious. Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
No, I didn't have anything to say.
Oh.
I think at the end of the day, do adaptations have to be very true to the source material? No. But I do think they have some sort of obligation to be as close as they kind of can.
As long as they have elements of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't have to be 1-to-1.
At least try.
But you have to try. Yeah. You have to be. You don't have to be 1-for-1, but you got to be in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And I think with that, we'll just leave it there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's that time of the week. I don't know. I got to figure out this song situation.
Yeah. I
also forgot my dice, so we're just gonna pick.
Oh, well, we have a lot of dice in here.
Yeah, I'm gonna get up.
We can get it.
I have legs.
All right. Well, as you guys know, this is that
Vic has legs
that we do, where we have Pokemon cards. Yeah, don't. Why didn't you? Okay.
Get a D6.
Yeah, it's D6.
So yeah, as Ruben was saying, time of the week, we open up some Pokemon packs.
Yeah, it's literally just the same art.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, that's very
two
crooked.
Right. That didn't even roll.
Let's get a 6. 5.
All right, so John picks first.
I'll go middle.
And then Vic, you have 1 or 2.
All right, let's see what we got.
Cool.
Is it me, or does this Surging Sparks graphics look kind of cheap compared to what they've done before?
I don't know. I think
what is it built?
Oh, it looks okay. I know.
Technically, that's not a building. That's a bridge.
I was gonna say.
Is it?
Yeah,
that's cool.
He's just not in his bridge form, but that's a bridge. That's Archaludon.
I got Executor Alolan.
Yeah, I also got Execute.
Whoa.
I got a Pikachu.
Oh, that's nice.
Wow, I can already feel the hit from here.
All right, anyway,
it's a heavy pack.
I believe it's 5, 3, 4.
Yeah.
John's in the lead. He got a Cinderace last time. He can stay in the lead, or I could catch up.
Or we can advance the lead even a little bit more.
Yeah. Anyway, the code cards will be somewhere right here, probably. I don't know. We'll put them in the post.
Basic fire.
Yeah.
Basic
that's what
steel.
we'll do.
We're good.
So John goes first.
All right. No glasses. Let's see how we do. Bronzong. Right?
Yeah.
Bronzong. I don't know. I'm looking at you. Just Sandygast. Drillbur. Magnemite. Ninetales. Graphite.
Graphii?
Is it Graphite? I
Let me see it.
thought it was an L. Sorry.
Yeah, Graphii.
Graphite. Okay.
Good enough.
Yeah, Graphite. Graphite.
There you go.
Passimian.
Ooh.
Meryl. Centiscorch.
Mm-hmm.
Nice one, but and a Cofagrigus.
Cofagrigus.
I thought that was an A, not a O. My
That's
bad.
black and white, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cofagrigus.
Look at Vic. Look at Vic knowing Pokemon.
That's the last Pokemon game I played.
All right, Vic, your
nice.
turn.
Cool. I got Blitzel. Yamask. Quaxley. Right?
Yeah, go Quaxley.
Quaxley. Oh, it's a duck. I get it.
Look at Vic putting 2 and 2 together.
Larvas. Annihilate?
Yeah.
Well, that is a cool name.
Yeah, it's a new evolution for
Jasmine's Gaze. Xerneas. Watchroll.
Yeah.
Licia's Apple. Appeal.
Yeah.
I know how to read.
It's a nice card.
And Zarude.
Right. So I have potential to tie with John, and for Vic to be in super last place right now. All right. We got Tandem Mouse, Spupa, Donphan, Fuecoco, Iron Bundle, Mouse Hold, Surfer, Miracle Headset, a Braviary. I got the art version Braviary, and I got a Dialga. I also pulled an A-Spec, which technically is also a hit, but I don't know if we're going to count it.
You've got 2.
Yeah, I don't know. It's weird. It's because these are technically kind of sought after, but they're also not. I'm not gonna count it. I'm not gonna count it. I don't want to be that guy. You want to see it go?
Yeah,
It's a
but
nice
now
card.
you're gonna.
Yeah, because it's a nice hollow foil thing.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna count it. We'll also put it on the screen
Yeah, Miracle.
with the Braviary, but I will not count it. I will be fair.
Whoa.
But yeah. Anyway, guys, that's the end of this podcast for this week. We hope you guys enjoyed it. I guess like, comment, and subscribe. Let us know if there's any adaptations that you would like to see that haven't been done yet, video game specific, because like we said, there's adaptations of other things that we'll probably get to at another point, but this was just video game specific.
Yep.
Anyway, guys, that's the end of the podcast for this week. So I guess that's it. Like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you next week.
Bye.
Take it easy. See y'all next time.
Peace.